on Nationwide 90 FM.
Is that really Cliff you starting?
Tune in, turn up the volume and listen. We bring a mix of news, entertainment and sports to your lives.
Nationwide 90 FM's live and continuous coverage of the World Championships in Budapest, Hungary.
News and discussions week mornings.
Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning.
Entertainment in the afternoons, then news again in the evenings.
Nationwide news at this hour, fired.
Also, tune in to the entertainment and sports shows in the nights and on the weekends.
It is Boy Things After Dark right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
Everything is news, from current affairs and entertainment to sports, business and other categories.
Nationwide 90 FM. This is Benjamin. Give it to them. Zaga, Zen.
From every whisper to every commotion.
That's rubbish. The KSAMC cannot investigate itself.
Was Cliff News really talking like that?
Every news story unfolds here first at Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Every sound is a story, and every story we share is news.
You're inside the Consumer Hour with Nora Gay Banton.
Good morning to you. It is Monday, TGIM. It is Monday. We're giving God thanks for Monday. We're getting rid of Monday blues, and we're going to enjoy the Monday morning. It's Monday, March 18, 2024. We're alive and well, and for that we give God thanks. Good morning to you if you are on the 90 FM band, 90.3, 90.5, 90.7, and 90.9. Thank you so much for joining us on your radio. If you are listening and watching on YouTube, good morning to you. Let's see who's over there on our YouTube channel. I'm seeing Errol Townsend. Good morning to you, Errol. I'm seeing Cheyenne Atkinson. I am winning right now. Anne-Marie. I'm seeing Angelo. Good morning to you. Arlene Rowe. Good morning to you. Clash Camp, what's up? Cordell Allen, KMC, all the others over there on YouTube. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us on this platform. Remember, if you haven't yet subscribed, please click the subscribe button so that you and the notification bell so that you can be notified whenever we post, whenever we go live. If you are listening from our mobile app, which is available for free on the Google Play and the Apple App Store, good morning to you. And those on our website, the Listen Now option there, good morning to you as well. Thank you so much for making it Nationwide 90 FM. It's a Monday, which means it's Immigration Mondays. All right, and people, guess what? If you're not on YouTube, you wouldn't know, but for those who are on YouTube, you can already see that the whole squad is here. Turn up. I am joined in studio by Opal Lee, U.S. immigration attorney, and Nadine Mahabir, or Canadian immigration consultant. Guys, remember last week when Nadine said, maybe I'll be here with you in Jamaica? And then the security called me and said, Opal Lee's outside. I was like, Opal Lee? Maybe
she got jealous.
Maybe
she got jealous.
But here, as I was just saying, Nadine more than me.
I was like, all right, I guess we're going to have a full studio, but I really appreciate the company here in studio. Thank you so much for being here, ladies.
She's closer, so you know, she got here faster.
But both ladies are in studio with us this morning, and if you're just joining this program, we deal with immigration matters concerning the United States of America and Canada. If you have any concerns, you can give us a call. But before we go to the calls on the program, we usually get an update from both ladies. So we'll start with you, Opal, since you got here first.
All right, Nora. So, of course, there is one update. And, of course, has to do with Florida. Again, Florida is always setting the trend and doing all these things, of course, because of who we have as governor, Ron DeSantis. And so, of course, with everything with the immigration being one of the 4 points in this upcoming election in November, I can see everyone just targeting immigration.
Right.
And so what Florida Senate has done, they recently passed 3 new bills that actually go into effect on July 1, unless Ron DeSantis veto same. And, of course, he's basically, I know for sure he's not going to veto same. And those 3 bills, one of them is the SB 1036, which enhances penalties for a crime committed by an individual who returns to the country illegally after an initial deportation. So what that means is that if you were ordered deported, you re-enter unlawfully, then you commit a crime. If the crime was a 3rd-degree felony, which usually would be up to 5 years in prison, it's now going to be a 2nd-degree felony, which is up to 15 years in prison. If the crime was a 2nd-degree felony, which normally, again, was up to 15, it's now going to be bumped up to a 1st-degree felony, which is up to 30 years in prison instead of 15 years. And if it was a 1st-degree felony, which usually is up to 30 years, it will now be a life felony. So they're basically cutting down on people who were ordered deported, come back in and commit certain crimes. Florida's playing no jokes where that is concerned. The next thing it does is HB 1451, which prevents counties and municipalities from accepting ID cards issued to, I don't like to use the word illegal, but let's just say unlawful aliens by other jurisdiction. And we already spoke about that, so that part is nothing new, where basically you might have gotten a driver's license or a state ID from, a more immigrant-friendly state. Basically, they're saying Florida, we're not going to accept it in Florida. And third and finally, it's the HB 1589, which increases penalties on individuals who operate a vehicle without a license. As an immigration attorney, the most crimes that I see committed is in Florida is those driving without license because they don't have lawful status, right? So they can't get a driver's license. So you find that most people, they're not supposed to, but they tend to operate without a license. Not that causes accidents, it doesn't, but sometimes what you see happen is that even in insurance, sometimes if they're not driving and they don't have insurance, or maybe it is that they're, that could be an issue. But what's going to happen now, it increases the maximum sentence from 60 days in jail to 1 year in jail for 2 or more offenses, and a minimum mandatory sentence of 10 days in jail for 3 or more offenses. So basically they're cracking down. So for those people, as Nora, I'm going to use what Nora always say, be warned. If you think that if you need to sort out your status, you need to go ahead and sort out your status. If you don't have status, you need to go ahead and sort it out. Just be warned. Nora, you think she's going to chip in something else now?
No, because just to reflect on the first one, you were illegal, you were deported, and you come back and commit a crime?
Yes. So if that crime normally would have cost you 15 years, it's not going to be 30 years. Boy. So basically, you see, they're trying to crack down on it. So basically, don't even think about it.
Don't come back.
She said it, guys. I didn't.
Because what?
Yeah.
You were deported. Where are you going? But that's the update for the United States. Take heed. That's all I can say. Nadine, what's happening in Canada now?
I don't even want to talk about Canadian immigration, to be honest, because it's getting frustrating. Well, okay, so we still don't know about the provincial attestation letters yet for all the provinces. We know that British Columbia has set up their system, but the other provinces have until the end of the month to get this in place. So again, I just want to remind our students, make sure you reach out to the colleges, just give them a little nudge, say, remember me.
Right.
Because it is the colleges that are supposed to get the attestation letters and then forward it to the applicants who have been, of course, accepted into school. On a more positive note, I'd like to talk about something that is hopefully a little bit more encouraging.
Okay.
So for persons who have children, so you're a Canadian citizen or a resident, and you have children that are under 22 years of age, please remember to sponsor these children before they're too old to be sponsored. Because unlike our friends in the South, you cannot sponsor children that are over 22 years of age unless they have a physical or mental challenge. So again, persons who have children that are under 22, you can sponsor these children without needing to show minimum income. So pretty much, once you're not on social assistance for reasons other than disability, you can sponsor your children. The same for spouses. If you have a spouse outside of Canada or even in Canada, you can sponsor that partner. You do not need to show minimum income requirements. So that's pretty much the main things that I'd want to talk about today, Nora.
Just to go back to the first point, you were saying that British Columbia has the structure in place now to give the provincial attestation letter. But wasn't British Columbia the province that said they were putting a pause on international student acceptance for 2 years?
Yes.
So why do they have it in place then if they're not going to accept anybody for 2 years?
I guess maybe they're not accepting anybody, so they figure let's just put it in place. I don't know.
And they're the only ones who
you're
put it
right.
in place.
That boggles my mind. You're correct, Nora. Thank you.
Okay, interesting stuff happening in the United States and Canada. Well, we're at the point in the program where we take your calls. We'll do that after the break. So if you have any questions, immigration related, concerning the United States of America or Canada, you can give us a call. The numbers to call 876-630-9371-4 or 618-8255. And of course, if you're unable to give us a call, you can leave your questions in the YouTube chat. We're live on YouTube. The channel is Nationwide 90 FM Live. That's where we are. It's Nationwide 90 FM Live. Leave your comments in the chat. It's open and ready for you. Let's take a break and come back with your calls.
Follow the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development on Instagram and X at LocalGovJA. The time by the ministry is...
It's 9:16.
Nationwide 90 FM, the station for the very latest in news and current affairs, will broadcast live from the No Cell Left Behind book launch. On Tuesday, March 19, and Nationwide at 5 will be at the Floor 2 Assembly at the University of the West Indies. Tune in as we inform Jamaica about this new revelation. You don't want to miss this launch. Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM from 6 to 8 p.m. That's a live broadcast of the No Cell Left Behind book launch during Nationwide at 5, Tuesday, March 19 from 6 to 8 p.m. only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Office of the Deputy Principal.
The Olympic Games 2024 live from Paris in France, exclusively on Nationwide 90 FM.
The Jamaican star shines bright once again.
Live here halfway through the Olympic finals.
This summer, Nationwide 90 FM is coming in hot. Nationwide 90 FM will be blazing as we bring you the games of the 33rd Olympiad live from the French capital, Paris. 16 fantastic days of competition in 41 sports.
Noblin Williams-Mills coming, the glory flapping, her arms are waving, and Noblin Williams-Mills coming through for Jamaica's gold.
The station will bring you analysis and live coverage from the opening day of competition, Friday, July 26th to the very last day of action on Sunday, August 11th.
And some parchment, let's go! Oh, what a run!
Everything and anything Paris Olympic Games 2024 can be heard right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
It is a glittering gold for Sharika Jackson, and how they will celebrate that back in Jamaica.
We'll capture the spirit of athleticism. We'll narrate the Olympic fever, define thrilling moments, and report on the blood, sweat, and tears of the world's greatest athletes. Nationwide 90 FM is going to the Paris Olympic Games, and we're taking you with us. Tune into Nationwide 90.3, 90.5, 90.7, and 90.9 for live updates and commentary. We'll be giving the listeners a front row seat to witness excitement, triumph, and memories.
And I think it was a clean sweep for the Jamaicans.
Stay tuned to Nationwide 90 FM 24/7. Experience the Paris Olympic Games 2024 right here on the Revolution in Media Nationwide 90 FM, your Olympic Center. Exclusively on Nationwide 90 FM.
Good morning, good morning. You're back here inside the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM. It is the Consumer Hour, and we're here inside the studio with the full gang, the full complement of the Immigration Monday team. Opal Lee is here in studio with me, as well as Nadine Mahabir, and we're taking your calls at this time. Remember the numbers to call: 876-630-9371-4 or 618-8255 if you are unable to give us a call. You can leave a question in the YouTube chat and we will get to those for you. We have a caller on the line, Jasmine. Good morning, Jasmine.
Good morning, everyone. I am calling on behalf of my daughter. She's in Nova Scotia. She has completed her studies and the 1 year work permit that she's supposed to have gotten, hers wasn't 1 year. It was shorter than 1 year, and now she has about 4 months in which to put in her, less than 4 months. And she's worried that she would be sent back to Jamaica.
Okay, hi, good morning. Okay, so how long was her course?
2 years.
Okay, when does her passport expire?
Her passport would expire in about maybe 8 years from now.
Okay, something does not sound right. If she completed a 2-year course, she would have received a 3-year post-grad work permit.
She did not.
Okay, so something is definitely wrong. I would recommend that either if she wants to have a consultation done with me, and then I can take a look at her documents. But if she attended a school that qualified for the post-grad work permit and it was a 2-year course, she should have gotten a 3-year work permit.
Okay. Can you give me your contact information for me to forward it to her, please?
Sure. Keep on listening and we'll give out the numbers shortly.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Thank you, too.
All right, Jasmine, you can just keep listening. I'm going to allow you, Nadine, to give your contact information now and then Opal.
Okay, thanks, Nora. For Nadine Mahabir, our contact number in Jamaica, it is 876-754-4391. That's 876-754-4391. In Canada, it is 1416-249-5885. That's 1416-249-5885. And our email address is info@cdnintl.com. Over to Ms. Opal.
Thank you. For Opal Lee, our phone number in Jamaica is 876-854-3599. That is 876-854-3599. In the United States, it is 954-358-2020. That's 954-358-2020. Or you may go to our website, www.flowjamlegal.com. Thanks, and over to you, Nora.
All right. So we have some questions on YouTube. The first one I'm seeing, Islander JM is asking, I don't know if it's a male or female. Islander says, someone has an ongoing VAWA petition that also has her 2 children, 11 and 9 years, on it. Will she need the father's permission for the children's paperwork to be processed by USCIS?
That's an easy one. No permission needed for the father.
All right. There is another one here. And some people commenting on the fact that people go back to the United States, after being deported and commit crimes. I know it's crazy. It's wild. You go to the United States, if you are there illegally, you keep yourself quiet. You don't go there committing
You would
crimes.
think so,
Right.
right?
you don't go there throwing up guns and no, you don't do that. All right. So the other question I saw was for you actually, Nadine. How can I apply to become a Canadian citizen for a family of 4?
Well, first you would have to qualify for permanent residency. So, depending on your situation, whether or not you're able to sponsor yourself, and if you have been listening to the program, you would know it's a lot more challenging these days to sponsor yourself. Because for most clients, they have to go up first as students, then transition to residency, unless you're able to get a job offer. And again, for a job offer, you need to have an employer who is willing to do what is called a labor market impact assessment application for you, unless you're in an occupation. For example, most religious positions are LMIA exempt. So we would have to look at your information to see what is the best route for you to take to eventually qualify for permanent residency and then to become a citizen.
All right. So that's the process. It would take a while for you and your entire family of 4, but if you want to go through with it, then that's up to you.
Yes, there are a few steps involved now, unfortunately, Nora. It's not as straightforward as it used to be.
Yet Canada wants people. Interesting.
Yes.
Richard.
We don't get it.
Richard, good morning.
Good morning. And Miss Mahabir, we are from the same parish, But my question here is about a person is in the process of getting through, but his family abroad will file for him, change address. How does that work? Do we have to notify them up there or out here?
Sorry, is that for Canada or U.S.? Richard, is it for Canada or the U.S.?
USA.
Okay. Yes. Whenever any address change, you need to notify. So it depends on what point or what stage in the whole process the person is. Is a file still with the USCIS? Is a file with the National Visa Center? Is a file at the U.S. Embassy? So it all depends, Richard, of where this process is. But usually if there's a change of address, then definitely, because, for example, if the green card has not been sent in or issued as yet, you don't want that green card going to the wrong address.
All right. So it's best to do with the Kingston Embassy.
But I don't know where the file is actually at. Is it at the embassy?
Is in New York, but they're moving to North Carolina.
No. I'm talking who has the file right now. Meaning, what part of the processing is it at? Is the immigrant visa been issued and then they're not?
No, the interviews tomorrow.
So it's still at the U.S. Embassy. So they need to notify the U.S. Embassy of a change in address.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're very welcome.
All right, Richard, no problem. Another one here on YouTube about citizenship, this time for the United States. Grace Bailey says, how long does it take someone to get their citizenship for the United States after doing the test and passing?
Oh, I've had some clients who get sworn in the same day if everything goes well. But usually, most of the times they would just maybe send it out at about 2-3 weeks afterwards. You will get the swearing date, assuming everything went well and they don't have to look into anything.
Okay. So, Grace, I hope you're still on and heard that response. Arlene is asking what are the requirements to get USCIS fees waived? She says, I know if you are elderly, it can prove hard or can prove hardship. Being an Army mom is eligible too, she's asking.
Well, it depends on what the application is. For example, for citizenship, yes, you can ask for it to be waived, and there's a form for that that you could submit along with your N400 to get it waived. But of course, you're going to have to show that the income is just not there and that you don't have the requisite income.
All right. Nikon Vision. Wow, lots of questions coming in this morning. Documentarily qualified friend, September 2020, whose file status is at NVC. When is she likely to hear something from the U.S. Embassy? And who will schedule the interview? Is it the embassy or does she schedule her interview?
All right. So Nikon Vision, what I would like to know about your friend, because we have so many different categories. We have F1, F2, F3, F4. I would need to know which category your friend is. So, for example, is it her parent that's filing for her? Is it her sister or brother filing for her? Is it a child that's filing for her? So I could know what category and tell you, how likely it is that an interview will be scheduled soon. And no, she doesn't schedule her interview. It would be the U.S. Embassy would schedule the interview, assuming that the file has been documentarily qualified, meaning everything has been submitted, everything has penned out, and police certificate submitted, everything, and they're ready for an interview. Then the U.S. Embassy will notify her about that interview date.
All right. So we're up on a break. We're going to take a break and come back with your calls. If you have any immigration-related questions regarding the United States or Canada, give us a call. The numbers to call 876-630-9371 or 618-8255.
Spectrum Insurance Brokers provides quality insurance coverage and risk management services. The time by Spectrum Insurance Brokers Limited, setting the industry standards, is
9:30.
Public sector workers, are you ready? Registration is now open for the exciting public sector debate competition. Gather your teams and register by March 29. Visit publicsectortransformation.gov.jm for registration details or speak to your HR department. The competition is organized by the Transformation Implementation Unit, building a better public sector for all.
Discover the flavor of Jamaica with the Coconut Industry Board. They offer a variety of coconut products, from coconut water and coconut oil to coconut drops, gizadas, and other flavorful coconut items. Whether you're a farmer, producer, or consumer, the Coconut Industry Board is home to all coconut products. Visit them at 18 Waterloo Road, Kingston, or call 876-926-1770 for more details.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. You're back here inside the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM. It's Immigration Mondays, and we're joined in studio by U.S. Immigration Attorney Opal Lee and Canadian Immigration Consultant Nadine Mahabir. And we're taking your calls. If you have any immigration-related questions, you can give us a call. Remember the numbers to call, 876-630-9371 or 618-8255. We're also taking your questions from the YouTube chat. It's Nationwide 90 FM Live. That's where we are. All right, Miss Bev, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Okay, I would like to ask a question to the Canadian lady.
Okay, go right ahead.
Okay, so a young man is in Canada. He was filed for maybe some 6 years ago now. So he's a citizen. And he come back out and married to his high school sweetheart. So now they want to know if she can go up and stay in the country while the process is going on for her, for filing for her.
Good morning. Does she have a visitor's visa?
Pardon me?
Does she have a visitor's visa?
No, she doesn't do that yet. They want to know the process.
Well, first she would have to apply for a visitor's visa and show that she has ties to Jamaica, which might be a bit of a challenge if she's married to a Canadian. Normally, I recommend to clients, if you don't have a lot of ties to Jamaica, it makes more sense, in my opinion, to just go ahead and do the spousal application. Because in most times, the spousal application would be finished, or finalized processing in roughly about a year or so. So it depends on her ties to Jamaica.
Okay, so it's almost a year. Well, Yeah, about some 8 months or so. So might as well she wait until that time then.
She would have to have a consultation done if she wants to determine whether or not it makes sense to do a visitor's visa. My recommendation is if he wants to sponsor her, that he should go ahead and start that process.
Yes, I think they started the process, but I want to know if she could stay up there while the process was going on.
Again, she would need a visitor's visa.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
All right.
All the best.
All right, Miss Bev, take care. Keith, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is for the Canadian person.
Canada's so popular today. Good morning.
Hi,
Good
good
morning,
morning.
Keith.
Yes, good morning. I am the holder of a green card. Do I need a visa to go to Canada?
No, sir. No. Green card holders do not need a Canadian visa.
You just go with your normal green card.
With your passport and your green card.
Your
Yes,
green
sir.
card. Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome.
All right, no problem. And there was someone on YouTube, Gary, who was saying that he's a farm worker in Leamington for 8 months. I guess you know what he's asking.
Hi, Gary. Good morning, and I'll try not to get myself in trouble here. So, there is a agri-pilot program, Nora. Okay, and I know I've spoken about this program before. You do need to have at least, I believe it's 9 months. So, if you have a 2-year contract, for example. If you have an employer who can offer you a 2-year contract, then you should be able to apply for permanent residency. And they actually made a change to the program last month where you either need to have the work experience or the English proficiency, work experience, and the Canadian work experience, which means at least 9 months. The offer of employment, or the English proficiency exam, which is you need, I think the pass mark is 4 if my memory serves me right, and Canadian high school education, or the equivalent to Canadian high school education. So there are a few criterions that have to be met, Gary, if it is that you want to apply for permanent residency on your own. Okay? Persons, you do not need to find a Canadian spouse in order to qualify for residency. Okay, please.
But if you find one.
But if you find love, yes.
Right.
Okay,
right.
if you find love, fine. But you do not need a spouse to sponsor you, okay?
What love got to do with it?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna get ourselves in trouble here. Let me stop.
The both of you here is trouble. Now, there's Moy on the YouTube chat. I don't know who she twinned your names. She said hi, Opaline. So
oh boy.
I guess she's just saying hi to both of you, and then she goes on to say, "Do you know about the EB2 NIW program?" Right. And do you assist with those?
All right. So for the EB2, you don't file for that on your own. It's your employer who file for it. So it's something where you could show that you have maybe an advanced degree or a master's degree, or you have some exceptional. You possess some exceptional ability. Don't even look at me, Nadine. Right? Right? So you can then go ahead and file for those, but it's your employer who file for it. She's welcome to do a consultation with us, and we can give more information on that.
All right. So if you have exceptional ability,
master's degree and skills, and your employer, your potential employer in the United States can use those skills, then they would be the ones applying for it.
I always find it funny when you say exceptional ability because
we all have exceptional abilities, right?
Because we're all exceptional. and who are you to tell me I'm not exceptional?
But we do have some exceptional Jamaicans.
Yes. That is true.
Yes,
that is very
do.
true.
We
That is
do.
very true. I'm no Usain Bolt, but I think I'm exceptional.
I was going to say, good morning, Mr. Bolt.
Right. All right. We have
he could have get one of those anytime or OVs or anytime.
Quickly. All right. Nicole is on the line. Good morning, Nicole.
Hi, good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
My question is for Opal.
Good morning.
So my mom is a U.S. citizen. She has filed a petition on my behalf February 2018. I am over 21 years. I got approved back in June 21.
Okay.
Is there any way you can, and I'm not sure if I'm reading the bulletin properly. Is it a way you could tell me? I think I'm seeing there at February 2015.
Right, because you're single?
Yes, I'm single.
Right, so yes, they're at February 2015 at this point.
Roughly probably another 3 years, hopefully.
Right, because it's 2018. And the thing is that, because even if you check back with us next month, I might tell you that we're still at February 2015. So it doesn't mean that because it looks like it's 3 years apart from 2018, that it's really going to take 3 years, because it depends on how many applications they process in any given month. So that 3 years could technically turn into 4 or 5 years. But,
oh my God, that's a lot.
But by the way, don't marry. Don't put a ring on it, okay? Because if you put, okay.
Initially, when this February turned 6 years, and when we started the process, it told us around 7 years. So I was saying probably I have another year.
Blame it on COVID. This COVID thing really messed up a lot of people, because prior to this, parents filing for single adult children usually took about 5 years before 2020, before COVID. And now that 5 years now turned into 9 years.
And I also had a visa, and when I went back for it, I didn't get it back.
Oh, no. But how was your travel pattern? Were you spending...
To be honest with you, it was a bit messy, because I was like 2-3 months. My daughter would come with us, and whenever she gets summer holidays, we'll spend that much time.
So maybe that's what it is, because that's why we always caution people, and I know a lot of our our listeners on YouTube know what I'm talking about. We normally say, please do not spend 3 months, 4 months, because it's just telling them that, your ties to Jamaica or whatever your country of origin is not that strong if you have so much time to be spending out. So they get nervous when you spend so much time out. So sorry it wasn't renewed, but
all right,
you can try again.
Just exercise some more patience.
Okay. All right. Dig deep. Okay.
Bye.
All right, Nicole, all the best, and with your life on pause and waiting, all the best to you. I don't know, man.
Question. For persons who are working remotely, can you say you are working remotely, hence the reason why you're able to stay in the
No,
US?
because that's even a gray area as well, about even staying in the United States and working, because technically you're still working.
Okay.
Even though you're not getting paid by U.S. government, you're working without authorization.
Okay, because Canada had implemented the digital nomad program, where if persons were working remotely, then yes, you could physically be in Canada, but you're working for your overseas company.
Right, still a gray area in the US.
And I think, with how globalization is happening and evolving, work styles, I think it's something that should be,
Looked
revamped.
into.
Over time, because it's a possibility that you could be working remotely, and that's why you have so much time on your hands to be away from the country.
I could come to Florida and work remotely.
No, but you notice what I just told her. I said she could retry, for that, and then maybe make her case.
Right.
So even though it's a gray area, just prove it to them. Tell them that, listen, if that's her situation where she was really working remotely. But everybody can always bring their case.
Okay.
Yeah. Anne-Marie on YouTube says, my uncle passed in the United States, and I would like to attend the funeral. What information can I take to the embassy to help my application?
All right. First of all, my condolences. You would need to do the same thing as though you were applying for a visiting visa or like a normal visiting visa. You're still going to have to show your ties. And I know the U.S. Embassy has always said this. Not because you have a death in the family, that doesn't mean that you automatically now qualify for a visa. If you weren't going to qualify before, chances are this is not going to make you now all of a sudden qualified. So you're still going to have to show your ties to your home country. They like to see longevity. So if you have been in a work, stability, you have been in a same employment for at least 3 years or more, you have sufficient funds in the bank account to show that you're going to be entering for that intended purpose to attend your the family member's funeral, and that you have the monies to pay for that ticket and to provide for you while you're there, and that you have every single intention of coming right back to your beautiful home country, Jamaica, at the end of that. And you're not going to run off like some people. You're just going to come right back. Nothing in the U.S. entices you for you to violate that visa. You're going to come right back. So it's like, you're just going to have to prove it to them. You're still going to have to prove it to them. See if you could get the copy of your the funeral program as well as a death certificate, so you can at least take that with you to your interview.
All right. Before we go to the next break, I'm going to allow you ladies to give your contact information once more, and then we take a break and come back with more of your calls. Opal.
All right, thank you. So for Opal Lee, our phone number in Jamaica is 876-854-3599. That is 876-854-3599. In the United States, it is 954-358-2020. That's 954-358-2020. Or you may go to our website, www.flowjamlegal.com. Over to you, Nadine.
Thanks, Opal. For Nadine Mahaber, our contact number in Jamaica, it is 876-754-4391. That's 876-754-4391. In Canada, it is 1416-249-5885. That's 1416-249-5885. Our email address is info@cdnintl.com. Thanks, Miss Nora.
All right, we're going to take a break inside the Consumer Hour. When we come back, we continue taking your calls.
Prescriptions, get cosmetics and other pharmaceutical items at Manning's Hill Pharmacy, located at 34A Manning's Hill Road, Kingston. Telephone 924-6280. At Manning's Hill Pharmacy, they stock all the hard-to-get medication. The time by Manning's Hill Pharmacy is
9:45.
Go crazy for this offer from Flow. Get a free Samsung phone and earbuds when you sign up for Flow Yard and Road for the special price of $4,999 plus GCT. Free is all the craze. This crazy offer won't last long. Visit discoverflow.co or your nearest Flow store for more info. Conditions apply.
Nationwide 90 FM, the station for the very latest in news and current affairs, will broadcast live from the No Cell Left Behind book launch. On Tuesday, March 19, and Nationwide at 5 will be at the Floor 2 Assembly at the University of the West Indies. Tune in as we inform Jamaica about this new revelation. You don't want to miss this launch. Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM from 6 to 8 p.m. That's a live broadcast of the No Cell Left Behind book launch during Nationwide at 5, Tuesday, March 19 from 6 to 8 p.m. only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Office of the Deputy Principal.
Tune in to our program live from our YouTube channel, Nationwide 90 FM. And remember to like, subscribe, and share our content. And we're also on WhatsApp at 876-285-5693.
Good morning, good morning. You're back here inside the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Nora Gay Banton. We're on the final leg of the Consumer Hour this morning. It's Immigration Mondays, and I'm joined in studio by Opal Lee, U.S. Immigration Attorney, and Nadine Mahaber, Canadian Immigration Consultant. If you haven't seen them yet, you can join our YouTube channel. They're here with me live in studio, so you can join and see their beautiful faces. All right, so we got two callers on the line waiting. Tony, good morning.
How are you?
I am good, Tony. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
To all of you.
Good morning.
I have a son I filed for, and I speak to a paralegal up here. So when he called me the other day and told me my son's interview was the 29th of February, and it's afterward that she said she got an email, and I pay her all the money to look about the document.
Hold on, the story is a bit mixed up. Go chronologically.
Okay.
He's saying that he did something with our office?
No,
a paralegal.
A paralegal.
And he got the letter after the interview date.
Oh, okay. All right, so...
I filed for my son.
Uh-huh.
So afterwards, she told me that it was the 29th of February.
Oh, so you missed the appointment.
So I missed the appointment.
All right.
So what could I do?
And is this appointment, was this appointment for, is your son outside in Jamaica? So is it with the U.S. consulate?
He's in Jamaica. He's
All
in
right.
Jamaica.
So go ahead and send an email to the U.S. Embassy at kingstoniv@state.gov.
Okay.
And explain the situation that you had used somebody who wasn't an attorney, and there was a mix up and you missed the date.
So let me ask you: is it best from this stage? Could I use an attorney?
Yes, you can go ahead and use our office. Go ahead.
Better. And let me ask you: he smoked ganja, right?
Oh, wait.
Don't.
Okay,
It's okay. Don't.
We don't need all that
information
information right now. And at this point, you need. Please don't tell me your name or anything right now. Just do a consultation, please. All right.
All right.
Okay,
so
then the same number. Yes.
I'm gonna have to come in and talk to you. All right.
Correct.
I'll come in and give some information.
Oh, mercy. Okay, then.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Take care. You. All the best. All the best to you. Amelia. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning. Go right ahead.
I have a question. U.S. Starting with U.S. So I have a brother, right? He works in the U.S. He's on a domestic employee permit, right? Are you hearing me?
Yeah, we'll go ahead. Go ahead with your question. We're just listening.
Okay. He has a Social Security. Is he able to file taxes?
Right, as long as you have a Social Security, yes, you can file taxes. If you're making your money legally, you can file taxes. Even people that don't have a Social Security, they file for what's called an ITIN to go ahead and file taxes. It's just it's just a tax ID number. So yes, you can. And he has a proper work permit and social. Yes, he can file taxes.
Okay. This is not up to the employee. It's up to him, right?
It's up to him.
It's up to him. Another thing, is he able to get like a health insurance?
He would need to go ahead and contact whoever is doing health insurance and explain. What I don't want him to do is lie on that application. So if the application asks, do not let him put that he's a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident if he's not. And really and truly, it's really up to the whoever is issuing that insurance to see what their qualifications are. Or what their requirements are, I should say. Sorry.
Another question. I don't know if this is okay on here.
Ooh, you're nervous right now when people asking certain questions. I am so nervous. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. He has a Social Security. He has a domestic employee permit. However, he's getting money in hand.
So I'm talking about here. Yeah,
Amelia.
So that sounds like somebody not reporting in. Listen, this is stuff you talk to in person or a consultation. Okay.
All right. Okay.
All right. Okay. Yeah, man. So if you haven't gotten the numbers yet, you can keep listening. We'll give the numbers soon, and then you can sort that out in office or over the phone with your attorney. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Amelia, take
Guys,
care.
stop making Nora get so nervous right now.
So nervous right now. I am so nervous because, all right. Teresa, good morning.
Good morning. Calling me for Nationwide.
You are speaking on Nationwide. Good morning.
And Nationwide, a lady in Miami, Florida. She named.
Don't tell no names. We don't need no names. Oh my goodness, no names.
Just
we
go
don't
ahead.
need any names.
Just keep saying a lady or the lady.
Yeah, a lady in Florida donate to me some things to sell, like juice, water, and liquor. But I'm calling in to ask anyone because I'm a mother, and we're just calling to anyone who can donate a fridge to me. Sometimes when I put the juice them on the ice and take them off, but them get hot, and so them can't go sell again. So that is wasting money.
All right, Teresa. So all right, thank you so much for calling. Even though it's an immigration related program this morning, we'll take your contact information, and if there's anybody who has heard you or who's listening and wants to assist you, we'll give them your number. Okay.
We just ask for a look at deep freeze
Okay,
Please.
right, all right. So we'll take your number, and if anybody's willing to assist you, if anybody calls to assist you, then we'll give them your number, okay?
Yes.
All right, then. So stay on the line and speak to the producer. All right. you see when both of you are here,
We get some nervous questions.
something's happening. But let's go to the questions on YouTube. There are quite a number of them still. This one says, Nadine or Opal, can a Jamaican student in Canada participate in the J1 visa program? If yes, what's the procedure?
That's for Opal.
Right. Yes, they can. I don't like the J1 program, but yes. Not only students, but you will qualify. You can apply for the J1 even if you're in the US or outside the United States. It's
What's
really an
the J1?
exchange system. So you could be going there, and because you want to work some temporary jobs, or because a cultural exchange program, there are certain people that participate in it. Maybe you're going there to learn a skill. Right? And so you apply for the J1. The reason why I don't like the J1 is that most times, it has a 2-year foreign residency requirement that, yes, it's easy to get the J1. That's not an issue. Once you get the J1, though, it might have a requirement there that you have to return to your home country for at least 2 years before you can even re-enter the United States, and especially if you're trying to adjust. So let's say you were there and you fell in love, you met someone, because love came knocking at your door. You won't be able to stay there because you entered with a J1, because you have that 2-year foreign residency requirement. You have to leave, go back to, if you're from Jamaica, go back to Jamaica for 2 years straight before you can go back to your loved one, unless you get a waiver of that. But if they need information on the J1, yes, our office does help with that, so you can contact our office.
Nora, I'm just wondering, though, if you're in Canada as a student, what would be your reason for wanting to go to the U.S. until, of course, or unless you have your permanent residency status or you're a citizen?
Well, I know most Jamaican tertiary students, they use the J1 program as kind of like a summer employment program. So that's, most Jamaican students use it for that reason.
But I see what Nadine's coming out. Okay, if you have an F1, why do you need a J1?
Right. If you're a student in Canada and you can qualify for your postgrad and then eventually qualify for residency, I'm trying to understand.
Oh, no, you don't qualify for residency with your F1.
No, but in Canada, because if you study and you work, then you hopefully would qualify for residency afterwards.
Okay, but it's different in the U.S. You'd have to get an employer who's willing to sponsor you and get you that green card eventually. But that person, whatever, the bottom line is you need to do a consultation.
Right. All right. I'm not sure exactly the reason they would want to go. I don't know. Maybe some of their friends are going and they want to go. I don't know.
Right. Make sure it makes
be cautious. Caution about that J1. That's why I said I really want that person to do a consultation so I could talk to them.
All right. Let me see if I can get one more question in from YouTube. It says, hi, Opal. If a brother and sister are being filed for by their permanent resident father, can they stay in the U.S. on their visitor's visa while the process is going on, and what are the implications?
And I'm very glad that we got to that question because it's very important. The short answer is no, you cannot. When you enter with a visiting visa, you only get to stay as a visitor. You cannot overstay that 6 months. If you overstay that 6 months, even if it's your parent that's filing for you, because remember, that filing is going to take about 9 years or so for that visa number to become available. You cannot stay in the United States for 9 years waiting for that visa number. You don't get a work permit. You don't get nothing. You don't get anything at all that protects you while you're in the United States. And what's going to happen is that if you overstay your visa for 6 months but less than a year, you have a 3-year bar. If you overstay your visa for you stay in the U.S. for 1 year or more, you have a 10-year bar. So what that means, you have to go back to your country of origin, if it happens to be Jamaica. You have to go back there and spend 10 years before you can continue your father's filing or your mother's filing, whoever was filing for you. And so if you're in the United States, you're going to have to file for a waiver to forgive you for that unlawful presence. And there's no guarantee, for example, it would be approved. In any event, you wouldn't be able to get the green card there. You'd have to come back to your home country. So the bottom line is, enjoy your visiting visa privileges, go back and forth, because it's maybe another 9-10 years before you will be able to migrate. But enjoy it. You don't want to be stuck looking behind your shoulders, wondering if any day now they're going to take me and put me in removal proceedings. Enjoy your visiting visa, guys. Jamaica is very nice.
Indeed, and that's why you're both here.
Look, exactly.
All right, so we're up to the end of the program. I'm going to allow you to give your contact information once more before we wrap.
All right, thank you. So for Opal Lee, our phone number in Jamaica is 876-854-3599. That is 876-854-3599. In the United States, it's 954-358-2020. That's 954-358-2020. Or you may go to our website, www.flowjamlegal.com. Over to you, Nadine.
Thank you, Miss USA. For Nadine Mehabir, our contact number in Jamaica, it is 876-754-4391. That's 876-754-4391. In Canada, it is 1416-249-5885. That's 1416-249-5885. Our email address is info@cdnintl.com. Thanks, Miss Nora.
All right, and that's where we're going to leave it for Immigration Mondays this morning and the Consumer Hour, making way now for Cliff Hughes Online.
The mission of the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs includes revising Jamaica's legal and constitutional infrastructure and accelerating the pace of reform. The time by the MLCA is
10 o'clock.
Cliff Hughes Online. Talk radio for all Jamaicans.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock. Like a rock. I was strong as I could be, like a rock. Nothing ever got to me, like a rock. I was something to see, like a rock. And I stood arrow straight, unencumbered by the weight of all these hustlers and their schemes. I stood proud, I stood tall, high above it all. I still believed in my dreams.
Our phone numbers are 630-9371, 630-9372, 630-9373, 630-9374, and 618-8255. Or find us on Facebook at Nationwide News Network and follow us on Twitter at Cliff Nationwide. You can also listen to Cliff Hughes Online live on the World Wide Web at nationwideradiojm.com or via the Nationwide 90 FM app on your mobile phone. Now, here's your host, Cliff Hughes.
Good morning. Good morning. Let's get to work.
Cliff Says is brought to you by Educom Credit Union, providing value through service.
Cliff Says, what's on his mind? Unfiltered analysis and commentary.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock. Like a rock. I was strong as I could be, like a rock. Nothing ever got to me, like a rock. I was something to see, like a rock. hustlers and their schemes. I stood proud, I stood tall, high above it all. I still believed in my dreams.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for joining us here on this Monday morning. It's Monday, March 18, 2024. And thanks for making it Cliff Hughes Online on Nationwide 90 FM. We know you have several choices and you choose to be here. Thank you very much. Some of you come here for information and edutainment, and the overwhelming majority of you come here to hear what this madman has to say. Yeah? Some of you come for other reasons. Anyway, welcome. Whatever your motive, pure or impure, thank you. Yeah? And the impure, motivated know themselves. Anyway, it's a Monday morning, and the news from last week still taking center stage, especially the Cartel Privy Council ruling. And that continues to generate a lot of heat, emotion, some measure of law in terms of its application and weaknesses here. The Gleaner also has a story this morning about the crisis in Haiti. But the Gleaner this morning got the views of a number of Haitians who fled Haiti and made Jamaica their home for several years now. And the Gleaner's take on it, the Gleaner's story on it this morning is rather interesting because they canvassed the views of those Haitians who have been living in Jamaica, some for more than 10 years, 20 odd years. And the views expressed by the Haitians they interviewed are almost counterintuitive to this debate about the government of Jamaica's response to Haitians seeking to flee their country for Jamaica. And I was surprised. Yeah. The Haitians here are saying that, listen, they understand and support the position of the Jamaican government. Yeah? To really deny entry to those who would come. They say here, while recognizing that their birth country is buckling at its knees due to high levels of crime and violence, a handful of Haitians who now reside in Jamaica are throwing their support behind the government's decision to deny entry to their fellow countrymen. Quote, "Me know why the government send them back by boat. Me know what Prime Minister Andrew Holness a feel. Enough love, and him no love Haitian people. I know that any time you see boat coming with Haitian people, more want to come too," said Mercott Tensea, who has been living in Jamaica since 2000. He continued, "I don't want Andrew want to send them back, but more go continue to come And that is a big situation for the government. The Jamaican government has been faced with backlash over its handling of Haitian refugees in the last year, says the Gleaner's reporting by Rochelle Clayton. Approximately 100 Haitians who entered the island by boat over the last 12 months were denied entry, triggering calls from human rights lawyer Melena Lane to give the refugees a chance to seek asylum. Right? Well, these Haitians seem to think that they understand and support the position of the Jamaican government. Yeah? Another one is quoted as saying, some of the Haitians, who come here, some of the Haitians who leave Haiti and come to Jamaica are good people. I come to Jamaica in 2000. I'm a build my house at Jamaica, plus me work at a hotel because me a make life at Jamaica. Jamaica, and my country, I come for make life because my country not good, explained Tenesia. Wow. Interesting, eh? Another Haitian national, Lemuel Louver, told the Gleaner that he moved to Jamaica in search of greener pastures in 1991. Louver said he has since made life in Jamaica and is now a naturalized Jamaican. While expressing love for the country of his birth, Louver said he would not be a hypocrite and pretend that the crime and civil unrest being experienced in Haiti is not a cause of concern. He explained that this was his reason for supporting the government's decision to deny entry. Quote, I cannot give them any wrong because based on what go on in Haiti, everybody afraid to take them in. Haitians who come Jamaica in 1991 are different from who they come now. It's a different Haiti missing now. Really? If the Prime Minister decides to take them, I agree. But if him no want them here, I agree. Same way, because too much things are going on in Haiti. So no country no trust Haitians again. Wow. I don't know if I agree with that, sir, Mr. Louver. In 1991, and even before and since then, the turmoil and the crisis hit bedeviled Haiti has always been with us for the last 200 years. I don't know what has changed except now you have gangs who are in control of the capital. That's another thing we need to be clear about. Haiti is not all of Haiti is at the behest of the gangs, you know. It's really the capital, Port-au-Prince. Yeah? Cap Haitian, another major city in the north, the gang leaders are not in control. Yeah? So it's a complex situation there. Of course, the other big story of the morning is the Cartel Privy Council ruling. The Observer leads with that story this morning, where it says, see you in court, over quite a big photograph of the DPP, Paula Llewellyn. And Miss Llewellyn has been in the line of fire since that Privy Council ruling last week. She says, campaign of misinformation aimed at intimidating her office after cartel ruling. And the DPP has been defending her office and her conduct in this matter. Yes. As the Observer writes this morning, Jamaica's Chief Prosecutor Paula Llewellyn King's Counsel has moved to clarify her actions before the decision made by then Supreme Court Justice Lennox Gamble during the 2014 murder trial of entertainer Vybz Kartel and his co-accused to continue the matter after he became aware of an attempt to bribe the 12-member jury to acquit the men. And that's been the line of attack against the DPP since the ruling of the law lords. Yes? And of course, that has triggered calls now for the Jamaican Parliament to move quickly to close that loophole in our system where, unlike in the UK, if there's an attempt to tamper with a jury, in the UK, the judge can disband the jurors, send them off, and continue to preside as a judge alone trial. That's not now possible in Jamaica. And we are moving to plug that loophole because, you know, I am on trial, not looking good. I can conspire to have people bribe or attempt to bribe, and based on the principle set by the Privy Council's ruling now, abort the trial. So they're moving to close that loophole. And the DPP was on with Ricardo and Turner this morning. And she was asked about the advice she gave to the judge in that Vibes Cartel murder trial. Yeah, this is the second clip. After it was revealed that a jury was contacted. You need to listen to this, or it's almost time for the break. After the break, we're going to play, if you missed it this morning, the exchanges between Paula Llewellyn and Ricardo Brooks and Turner Thomas this morning. Yeah, it was rather tense. Yeah, after the break, you'll hear it.
My walk had purpose. My steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock.
The Time brought to you by the Ministry of Science, Energy, Telecommunications and Transport. Fueling growth everywhere is
15 minutes after 10.
Recycling Partners of Jamaica. Yeah, we got to make a change, and we have to do it now, can't wait for later. We put plastic in its place, and we all can agree that will be safer than in the gullies and in the drains. Recycling Partners of Jamaica. We put plastic in its place, yeah, the place of it clean. PET, the top of the ethylene. HDPE, buckle up against screen. Baby to granny, everybody roping. Yeah, we got to go green, you know what I mean. See the sign from the bin, if we drop it in through car window, you flick, that another thing. And we don't want no garbage in this game. No, we handle it above them, I know the same. So listen up, Jamaica, I'm saying it's time to make a change. Recycling Partners of Jamaica. We put plastic in its place, and we all can agree that will be safer than in the gullies in the heavy rains. Recycling Partners of Jamaica. We put plastic in its place.
EduCom is at it again with the EduPower Energy Loan. Cut your high energy bills with solar. Power up your home, business, or upgrade existing equipment. Access everything solar. Panels, water heaters, and much more. You've got the power with the EduPower Energy Loan. Borrow up to $3 million with up to 5 years to repay at competitive interest rates. Conditions apply. Call EduCom at 876-926-6973 for more info. EduCom Cooperative Credit Union Limited, providing value through service.
Welcome Deluxe, the cream cracker that rises to the top. So crisp, so light, so buttery. When you good, you just good. Hey, had the national flavor. You go off and buy this bag. So good, it's just so good. Welcome Deluxe, the cream cracker that rises to the top. So crisp, so light, so buttery. National Baking Company, just so good.
Cliff Hughes Online. Talk radio for all Jamaicans.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock.
18 minutes after 10 o'clock. So the fallout, the discussions, Yes, the heat from the Vibes Cartel Privy Council ruling continue. And this morning, for the first time, the DPP was responding since the judgment came down last Thursday morning. And she was asked by Tona and Ricardo about the advice she gave to the judge in the trial after it was revealed that there was an attempt to bribe the jurors.
DPP, having been told that all of your jurors in 2014 had been offered a $500,000 bribe, why did you not advise the judge that it was probably best to dismiss the jury, which was now obviously tainted?
You see, you are now trying to get me to discuss the matter, and I told you that I didn't wish to.
No, but certainly this point, DPP, is important because here the law lords are saying you advised the judge that you were prepared to proceed even though you knew that the entire panel, 11 jurors, the forewoman told you, had been offered bribes. Wouldn't that mean in your judgment, DPP, that the entire jury, as the law lords have now found, was contaminated and should have been terminated or discharged?
Well, first of all, I am not the judge.
True, but you gave advice that you were prepared to proceed, and what I'm trying to understand.
We were prepared to proceed.
But why were you prepared to proceed with a jury that was contaminated?
No. All the other factors, that some of which I cannot go into in terms of.
So you were thinking about cost. You were thinking about how long the matter had been going.
We were also thinking of security issues. There were a lot of other issues that we cannot go into the public domain, and what our information from the foreman was, what she was saying, was that all of the attempts had to do with acquittal. Clearly, if it had been the other way, we would have, clearly, given the overriding objective of any case, which is fairness to the accused. But what would have been perhaps planted in the mind of the jurors is, okay, you need to acquit. And remember that these persons, at least two of them, are very famous. So it would have been, as far as the prosecution, when we discussed it, we would have been at those ones at a great disadvantage. This is not the first time.
But with the greatest respect, DPP, that's not persuasive, because what I want you to focus on is the fact that the process now had been corrupted and contaminated, and you advised the judge that you were comfortable proceeding with a contaminated and corrupt process.
This is not the first time that I have had to deal with jury tampering.
And be that as it may, in the exercise of your judgment, why did you not see it fit to bring to an end a matter that had been corrupted?
After 64 days of trial?
Isn't the interest of protecting the impartial trial greater than the length of time that had elapsed?
I agree with you on paper, but I have done other cases where there has been jury tampering to the great negative of the prosecution. I have seen cases, I've seen jury inquiries where the juror, having been questioned, it was quite clear that it was either an accused person or an accused person's relative that approached the juror. And the juror was able to indicate to the court that it did not make any difference. He would still be able to have an impartial situation in his mind. I have had the experience. I've prosecuted many cases. And when asked, I have indicated that we don't have any problem. So in other words, we are prepared to take our chances and just try to make sure that you have a very powerful address. But this, what happened in a couple of the cases I've dealt with, didn't happen during summation. It happened before we got to summation. So I have had the experience before of jury tampering. And I have been asked before, what is my view, being the prosecutor in the matter? And even after the inquiry, it's a judgment. It's quite clear that you don't know if the juror is telling you everything about the encounter with the relative of the accused, but you are willing to take the chance nonetheless. So it has happened. I mean, both myself and Mr. Taylor, who was the prosecutor, we didn't drop from the sky. It's not the first case that we are both having to deal with. And in our experience, we have had to deal with cases where you have issues arising.
With the benefit of hindsight, do you regret the submissions you made?
You are not going to get me there. You are not going to get me.
Well, quite an interesting 5 minutes of exchanges there. And the takeaway for me is the DPP seems to be relying on the fact that in her long prosecutorial career, she has made a judgment call, several judgment calls, in a number of instances of jury tampering. And I wonder, does that make it legally correct? It might be a call that has been wrong. Because surely, based on what we now have from the Privy Council, jury misconduct undermines the fundamental principle of the justice system of the accused being entitled to a fair trial. And the fact that you have been doing it several occasions before does not make it right. Those who have been in such matters, do they have cause, reason to wonder at minimum? It is, Madam DPP, quite a space we are in. The other side to this, of course, is the fix. How do we fix it? And the DPP says some of the recommendations being made to fix this problem, this loophole, would not be feasible in Jamaica. Listen to her on that.
I recognize that you cannot avoid looking at the local culture of a particular place. In Jamaica, Jamaican jurors like to be able to go home every day. That's my take on it. And I find sometimes you have attorneys, and everybody can have an opinion, but whenever I hear attorneys talking about sequestering a jury, which, just to explain to the public, is where whether the case is 1 week in duration or 3 months in duration, I think they have it in some places in the American jurisdiction. You would be from day one be put up at a hotel, so you would not really be able to go home. That, I know, would not be popular here. You probably would never get a juror to serve. And whenever I hear attorneys talking about it as something that we should adopt, when I look at who the attorney is, invariably it is not an attorney who has an active jury practice where they appear before the jury a lot. So for example, in England, I will say, they may have a situation where if the matter is very complex, 3 months, 4 months in duration, the trial, the judge is going to sum up for 4, 5, 6 days. Maybe they may have a situation where they sequester, perhaps at the end of the day, because they expect the jurors to stay out for a day or many hours. In Jamaica, and I've been practicing for some 30-odd years, the jurors don't usually stay out longer than 1.5, 2 hours. If they go over 2 hours, that is in the exceptional case. In the Beaches Stout case, Turner and Ricardo, for a 5.5 month case with summation lasting 5 days, the jurors stayed out for 1 hour and 10 minutes. That is part of the local practice in Jamaica. Jamaican juries make up their minds pretty quickly, and they don't stay long once they have made up their minds. They have discussed the issue. That's a part of the local culture.
Don't you have a concern that the practice, as you call it, of allowing them to go home and return each day, that exposes them to the kind of if they're away from
with the greatest of respect.
No, but may I finish the question? May I finish the question?
All right.
At least, reasonably, I'm assuming, we'd have some kind of police guard to secure them if they're in a hotel, as opposed to, traveling on public transportation and have the kind of sinister interference that we saw in the case
and
that's
that
before
is a very big assumption, Ricardo. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Ultimately, and I say this for the public, we are a small country,
right,
Ricardo. And as far as I'm concerned, once you have people moving around the jurors, unless, whether you're at a hotel, you have the persons who will be serving them their breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You have other employees at the hotel or the guest house. You have even the police officers who are supposed to be there guarding them. Once you have people, this is a small country, if people really want to get to a juror, then they can, as far as I'm concerned. Because it comes down to the integrity of the jury. And which is why I was so congratulatory and celebratory of the jury in the Beaches Stout matter. Because they stayed together in terms of coming to court every day for 5.5 months and so committed and filled with integrity and knowledge of their duty. None of them dropped out, and we were able to finish with all 7 with no incident. And that is a great thing for the civic duty, Jamaica.
Paula Llewellyn, the DPP, speaking with Ricardo Brooks there this morning. And then the Justice Minister, yes, Mr. Delroy Chuck, says drafting of the new legislation now to plug that loophole is a top priority.
We are really at the beginning. This legislation, which was enacted in England in 2002, I believe, just came to my attention at least, and probably the nation's attention, because of the Privy Council ruling. Since then, I have had a copy of the legislation, and I have asked my legal team to work expeditiously on it so that a similar legislation can be put in place at the earliest possible time.
Earliest possible time. I hope that is a reality sooner rather than later. That's where I'm going to leave it this morning. Time for your calls now.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright.
Mind your business, JA with Jump Online.
The time brought to you by the Jamaica Accountability Meter Portal is
29 minutes to 11.
This is a session that gives the impression of the second edition of Little John Earthstrong. Carl Dawkins, Admiral Bailey, Fred Locks the Dreadlocks, Leroy Simmons, Lightbox, Stumblings, VC, Danny English, Aloze, Terry Ganzi, Junior Vibe, Nicholson, Ugly Man, and Benito. Whole heap of stars to make you wiggle on your toe, just in case you never know. $5,000 pre-sold, $6,000 at the gate. Make that today to don't be late and cooperate along that man called Lone Ranger. I go dead there.
Discover the flavor of Jamaica with the Coconut Industry Board. They offer a variety of coconut products, from coconut water and coconut oil to coconut drops, gizadas, and other flavorful coconut items. Whether you're a farmer, producer, or consumer, the Coconut Industry Board is home to all coconut products. Visit them at 18 Waterloo Road, Kingston, or call 876-926-1770 for more details.
Where in this world I go, I am a Jamaican. It's festival time again. Buju Banton entered and won. You could be this year's lucky winner of $3 million in prizes. The Jamaica Festival Song Competition 2024. Enter your song today online at jcdc.gov.jm. Cause I am a Jamaican. I have Jamaican what them.
Nationwide 90 FM, the station for the very latest in news and current affairs, will broadcast live from the No Cell Left Behind book launch. On Tuesday, March 19, and Nationwide at 5 will be at the Floor 2 Assembly at the University of the West Indies. Tune in as we inform Jamaica about this new revelation. You don't want to miss this launch. Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM from 6 to 8 p.m. That's a live broadcast of the No Cell Left Behind book launch during Nationwide at 5, Tuesday, March 19 from 6 to 8 p.m. only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Office of the Deputy Principal.
Our phone numbers are 630-9371, 630-9372, 630-9373, 630-9374, and 618-8255. Or find us on Facebook at Nationwide News Network and follow us on Twitter at Cliff Nationwide. You can also listen to Cliff Hughes online live on the World Wide Web at nationwideradiojm.com or via the Nationwide 90 FM app on your mobile phone.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right.
26 minutes going up to 11 o'clock. We're now going to take your calls, yes, up until 1 o'clock, yes. Paul, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Hughes.
Good morning, sir.
Maybe two. Me have one me feel like me for beat upon, but the other one now, Raytown hold it.
Raytown what?
Hold it. Raytown, the party will keep a Raytown on a Sunday night.
Used to.
No, man, still is.
It's still going on?
Yeah, man, it still is.
Okay.
And the problem we have right now is this. Police. Me understand it's 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock is the time for lock off. We agree with that. We have no bones with that. But this is what we do. We need some help. We need for unwind. And if we give it till 1 o'clock.
Hold on. How they arrive at that lock off of midnight?
All right. On a Sunday evening, most party lock off midnight. Although you have people who go 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and them not have no problem. We don't have a problem. I don't know why, but this is it. When we come to Raytown, Mr. Hughes, Raytown is just that, not just the people that keep it, you know. You see, some of the ladies that come there, and we send them kids go to school. When them come, them get a toast from me, them get a toast.
Hold on. Before you go there, sir, I would like to understand what is the basis for a lock-off time of midnight, because my party days are long over, but in my time, 12 o'clock, you're just about getting ready to go to party.
Yesterday was one of the worst nights because Raytown was so strong.
So hold on there. It's only, this 12 o'clock is just for Sundays?
Sundays.
And what about any other day in the week?
Well, like a Wednesday too, but like weekends, them get until 2 o'clock.
Oh?
Downtown, yeah. But yeah, you still have parties, Mr. Hughes, that go till 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, and we don't have a problem.
Yes.
So that 20 minutes to 12 yesterday, and the police them come to lock it off. She carry a permit, she show them the permit. It come back again, like about 20 past 12. And no more music. She said, all right, they can make him play 3 more. That's what can tell the people. No, not one. If you put on one more music, will take for the sound. No, Mr. Hughes, we come, and when me not come from here to Mr. Hughes. Most of the people that come there, we have a Leonard High just come. Him and him friend them just coming at the party. Leonard High,
please, no call up the man name, sir. Please, I don't know if you want him name call up.
No,
say me there Raytown.
A famous man and him dead.
Yeah, but I don't know if the man want the parade call up him name say he was at party.
All right, take it back. But Mr. Hughes, you there? And we help the people at Raytown. We help the people out of Raytown. We are talking about out of our pocket now. You know how much youth we send at school this morning, Mr. Youth? When the woman them come there, we not have no time with them, Mr. Youth, but when them carry them fly to you. Remember, me tell you, you have to give to your pocket. You have to. True or false, you have to help them. Because
Which police give you permission? That would be the central police station, or which police station would give the permit? Ellison Road?
Ellison Road, yeah.
Oh.
So when me a begging them, I don't know because permit come from you have to get okay from KSAMC.
But they don't set the time.
I don't sure if them set the time or them care, but them supposed to care. I don't sure about that, so I can't even go on that.
Oh.
But me don't know if the mayor can do something for we, the deputy mayor can do something for we. We need somebody. We need some help now. If we even go even 1 o'clock, 1:30. It's good because I unwind to you, Mr. Hughes. We are unwind after a hard week. And we come and we have so much joy because last night was one of the super night, Mr. Hughes. Everybody vexed. Everybody. Because the party just started.
Yeah, party just started at midnight.
Me don't know, but why,
So let me ask you something, just to give me complete information. And Nora, see if you can find the police or the KSAMC for me to find out how, we really want to find out how they arrive at a 12 midnight lock-off. But I was about to ask you, sir, what time does it begin?
It starts like 6 o'clock, but when it starts 6 o'clock, them start playing music like from the 50s come up to the 60s. So you understand, between like 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock up to 1 o'clock, them start playing like 60s, 70s. You understand? Yeah. And these are the musical we enjoy, the Eptones, the Tomlins, the Alton Ellis, the Dennis Brown. At them time that them start this, so the party start get nice now because of big people thing. And this Mr. Youth is pure adult, pure big people.
Where exactly in the area it's now held?
Race Street, same place, Capricorn Inn.
Capricorn Inn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Hughes, it pull up everybody last night, everybody, and then it's like when they probably near beg the police, begging.
And how long has it been a lock-off time of 12 midnight? How long they've had this rule in place?
It's always, the permit says 12, but before now, you will get at 2 o'clock, you will get at 2:30, and then you use your conscience. Because if the people them start take time go home, they start winding it down. So sometimes they lock off all at 1:30. You understand? Depends on the people. What Mr. Hughes
No, when me try get from you the permit, that says you are to shut off at midnight.
Yeah.
For how long this has been the practice? This has been the rule. The rule, not the practice, the rule that you must shut off at 12 midnight.
Yeah, the rule is 12.
For how long that has been so?
Right, so Mr. Hughes.
So it's not something new?
No.
Oh, is that they are now enforcing it?
Yeah, Mr. Hughes. Yeah. And you have my right. You have all a week when a policeman come and him see and go, him come and stop and put on him flash a light, and when him done put on the flash a light, then him come and him stop and him talk, and people go talk to him and them say, all right, take an hour, turn it down. And they turn down the sound because a big people, Mr. Youth, and we are play with order. Turn down. Just to suit the people in the neighborhood and where them benefiting them, Mr. Hughes. Because the soup man, the chicken man, the fried dumpling man, all of them people that come from Raytown. The bars them were dead because of stretch of bars and the streets. And everybody open.
So let me ask you something, and I'm being provocative now.
Yeah.
So all this time, the permit says shut down 12 midnight.
Correct.
But more often than not, you're allowed to go up until 1:30.
Maybe 2 o'clock too.
2 o'clock too?
Yeah.
So what? Hold on, man, may I ask you the question?
Yeah.
So how them allow you to go up until 2 o'clock? And all of a sudden now them saying them might enforce it. Well, you stop provide the sweet now?
No, Mr. Hughes, me just a customer, you know. So me not have none to do with the party, but we can know about the party. But me just irate and I say, boy, I have to talk to you. Me need somebody to just keep it because I will enjoy it. Mr. Hughes, me take it, my work.
But how, then if you're a customer, how you so invested in it?
Because I'm enjoying it, Mr. Hughes.
Oh?
Enjoyment. I'm enjoyment. Years worth of rate on, Mr. Hughes. Me not stop. Every Sunday is like a ritual for me.
Mm-hmm.
Every Sunday I am there. When it move from there, so it goes Sabina Park. From Sabina Park, it go up where the puppy place, up at Swallow Field. Them come back home now.
Mm-hmm.
And them come back home and there's a problem.
Yes.
You understand? And Mr. Hughes, that's something me love. And me not have nothing to do with the party. Nothing at all.
Yes.
You understand? I just mean enjoyment with them a take away.
Yes.
Because last night was worse than ever.
Are you employed?
Yeah, Mr. Hughes, I run a bar and I run a restaurant.
Oh, and you don't have bar and restaurant for open Monday morning?
Yeah, man. I'm out right now talking to you.
Oh, so you party up until what time on a Sunday night?
Yeah, I go till 2, them there till 2. I
2.
come home, I get 4 or 5 hour rest and I come out of my house. I go clean up my place, fix up because I'm me alone run my thing too.
Yeah, so 2 o'clock not bad for you, you're good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if them did even give me half hour last time because if I set yourself up to say, all right, the police say half hour more, and then you should come on the mic because she's a lady, I go do that. She go come on the mic and tell her, you know, so them say lack of time, but them might give you 1 half hour, them might give you 15 minutes, so you don't know after this time done, it's over.
Yes.
Yeah. You understand? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mr. Hughes, me don't know, but me don't know. That's why I call upon the mayor and the deputy mayor now.
Yes.
Because them can help me. Me know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Mayor Alric, what is his name? Andrew Swaby, Mayor Andrew Swaby. Oh, we have to get out of our head that we have an Alric Swaby here. Yeah. It's Mayor Andrew Swaby and Deputy Mayor Delroy Williams. The people of South saying, listen now. Yes, we need permit that can allow us to go up until 1:32.
Yeah, man.
12 o'clock too early for a cutoff.
Yeah, Mr. Hughes. For real, because the unwind, you know, you've done your Sunday now, you have your dinner, you're out now, you say you got some fun.
Yes.
De-stress. We're going to de-stress, get rid of all of that because all enjoyment now. And then, you know, them just cut it abruptly, boom, and done.
All right, sir.
Yeah.
Mayor Swaby, Deputy Mayor Williams, let me hear you on this. And we're going to try and get Nora, the police from Elletson Road, to find out what is happening. Yes, because it seems as if they are now enforcing the 12 midnight shutdown. All right?
Thank you, Mr. Hughes.
You're welcome. Time for the break.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright.
Yes, me get the last cheese. Taste the beat. Brothers and sisters, at the end of Easter service, we have cheese. Taste the beat. But one day we're getting a bun and cheese. Taste the beat. Serve, sell me some bun and cheese. Taste the beat. Why, this looking nice with some tasty cheese. Taste the beat. Could I have some cheese, please? Taste the beat. Make we get on real bad with the tasty cheese, boy. Taste the beat with tasty cheese. Know your numbers and take control of your life. Don't wait till it's too late. Check your doctor today. Yeah. Get the BMI check, your blood pressure check, your blood sugar and cholesterol check. We're living well when we stay on top of our health. Know your numbers and take control of your life. Don't wait till it's too late. Check your doctor today. Know your numbers and take control. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
EduCom is at it again with the EduPower Energy Loan. Cut your high energy bills with solar. Power up your home, business, or upgrade existing equipment. Access everything solar. Panels, water heaters, and much more. You've got the power with the EduPower Energy Loan. Borrow up to $3 million with up to 5 years to repay at competitive interest rates. Conditions apply. Call EduCom at 876-926-6973 for more info. EduCom Cooperative Credit Union Limited, providing value through service.
Our phone numbers are 630-9371, 630-9372, 630-9373, 630-9374, and 618-8255.
Good morning, Maxine.
Good morning, Mr. Hughes.
Good morning.
Yeah, I always listen to you, but first time calling.
Welcome.
Yeah. I'm a disabled person. 1 foot and eyes is blind. But I'm living in a dangerous condition. As through the eye is sick now, I cannot get to work anymore. But I have a little piece of land, but I couldn't get to be a proper place to live on it. So I get some stick and I use the big cement bag them and make a little room. I couldn't be able to pay any rent again. But what I'm calling about this morning, I would like Mr. Mackenzie's number to talk to him.
And that is the Minister of Local Government and Community Development, yes, Mr. Mackenzie?
Yes, that's the one.
And what do you want from him?
If I have a little, anything, if I have a little one room, anything a little better than what I'm living into right now.
Uh-huh. Oh. Have you tried the whole program, the social housing program of the government?
After that, but I go to the MP, but he said it's going to take a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
So, and when the rain falls so terrible,
mm-hmm.
I'll wash and make this for it because she's a plastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So where are you living now?
I'm living in St. Elizabeth, Top Burnt Ground.
What's the name of the area?
Top Burnt Ground.
Top Burnt Ground.
That's right.
Okay. All right, here what you do, Maxine. Can you hold the line for us? I'm going to have my producer take your name and number. Yes, and we're going to pass it to Minister Mackenzie. Yes?
That was so great, sir. Thank you very much.
So tell me again, what would you like him to consider doing?
If I even like one room, then
Yes.
I could have like better than how I'm living right now.
Yeah. So what you're living under is plastic?
Plastic. I use a cement bag with some stick to make the room.
Yeah.
I'm suffering bad.
And you are one-legged and you cannot see?
One-legged and I have two sugar. Yeah.
That means you're losing the sight. You're losing your sight.
Yeah, through the sugar.
That means you're not controlling the sugar, Maxine.
But Mr. Hughes,
Yeah.
they're hard to find food to eat to control that.
Yeah, but by now you go to your clinic frequently.
Yeah, regular.
So the doctor and the nurse is not tell you what you have to do to control the sugar.
Yeah, but sometimes you're not too hungry. You have to eat something like flour and rice. And you're not supposed to eat rice too tough.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And every day I eat grumbles, and sometimes I have to drink water and go to bed.
Yes. But you also know that you have your medication. You take your medication.
Yes, I have all the medication then. And I insulin my take too. So
And
you
you
know, so you don't eat
Yes.
with insulin.
But you
What
have
is going to happen?
you have your system where you stick yourself and can test your
Yeah.
readings. You've been doing that.
Yeah.
You've been testing yourself regularly.
Yeah, I have a machine to test. But
Yes, you have the machine. You use it.
yes, I beg somebody to do it for me.
Oh, you can't do it.
No, to the side, doc.
Mm-hmm.
Why it's so dead and I don't have any children, you know.
Oh, so you're alone. You're alone.
Yeah, family is not available.
Oh dear. All right. Hold on for Nora. Nora,
Yes.
take her name and number, and we're going to pass it to Minister Mackenzie. Yeah, but you have to try to take care of that sugar. You hear?
Yes, sir. Yes,
You
sir.
have to try. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Take care. Boy, you know, some people have it really hard. Butcher, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Hughes.
Good morning, sir.
You might have remember this name. This is the same gentleman. This is a gentleman from Esher Hills, Providence, Lucy, Hanover. Calling about my water problem, sir. I don't know where to turn to. In October of last year.
And you have been calling me about this water problem for years now.
For years now. When I last called you, sir, might take a little time, but let me tell you, when I last called you, it was on a Tuesday, a day of Parliament. And when I finished talking to you, everybody began to call me because they hear me on the radio complaining about water. The Wednesday evening, the then councillor and the MP was at my gate asking me why I call Mr. Hughes, and they tell me that I was going to get water. And I said I can't do without water because my aunt is in the house. As a matter of fact, the caption is her name, but she's elderly. She's 91 years old, and she is bedridden, and we can't get any water. Luckily, when my uncle, before he died, he built a stone tank, so we have the rainwater. But it was in the time dry, and we're not getting the amount of rain that we used to get. But we did have the connection, and the water bill has been come every month, and her daughter paid from England. When I go down to National Water Commission, everybody they know me. The last time I went there, the lady in the office, when I knock on the door and push the door, and when she hold up her head and saw it was me, she said, "Why you they come here for again? Me can't help you, master." See me, she said to me. And gone back to do wash the door, and I just turn back to the door and come out. Mr. Hughes, I'm not getting any water. And right about, about 5 chains from my house, National Water Commission have a big catchment tank there where they pump the water from down the road up to it. And if they pump the water up, I will get and the water go in the tank, then I will get water. But they're not doing that. And the road again to come up, there's a lot of broken pipe. Hello?
Yes, sir, I'm hearing you.
Because I didn't hear.
Yes, I'm listening keenly.
There's a lot of broken pipe there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not getting the water, and I don't know what to do. And up to this morning, sir, before I wake, I hear my dog, they were barking. And when I look through the window, it was a meter man come reading meter. I'm not getting any water.
So hold on there. It comes and goes, or you haven't getting any period?
Mr. Hughes, the last time I get, you see those drugs that you can buy in the supermarket, but not the big one, the second size one, the gallon one. They hold a gallon of water. The last time water comes, that I see, comes to the pipe, I take 4 gallons to catch the water because I drink that water. And 4, I only full 3.
Mm-hmm. And then it went?
And then it went.
When was that? When was the last time?
That was in February.
Oh.
I am not getting any water. The water come little down.
So what is the fundamental problem? Is it a pump? What is it? What is the problem?
To meter, they're not turning up the pump strong enough.
Because the last time, I think you're on a hill.
Yes, and I'm on a little hill, and there's so many people now, Mr. Hughes.
Mm-hmm.
First time, so much people never on the line. But now everybody, the community is getting bigger, and then everybody now is pitching on.
You said when you spoke to me some time ago, the councillor and the MP turned up at your gate. Who are the councillors and the MP?
Well, the councillor, good for him, he lost his seat. That was Mr. Edwards. No good.
No good. Yes.
And I'm telling
and
you
the MP?
And I'm telling you that as a Jamaica Labour Party supporter, sir.
Oh.
And I'm not afraid to say that.
Mm-hmm. That is of no moment here. You're a citizen of Jamaica.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the is Miss Davis.
Tamika Davis?
Tamika Davis, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That is West Hanover.
Western Hanover, yes, sir.
They lost all the seats in all the parish council divisions
the parish
in
council.
Hanover.
And I'm sorry for her, because she don't go to, because she don't have nobody to help her work.
Oh, you think she go too?
Yeah, because she don't have nobody to help her work. And I tell her, I said, Miss, think something is wrong. And it's not that the people wanted it, but people just decide that, hey, we're not going out to vote because this, especially the councillor, he is the councillor for Lucy and his environs. And this gentleman, it was nice, have been nice to me, But then, when my daughter was going to school, my daughter left Rossi's and she never did. Principal of business and accounts, and he was teaching at Rossi's and he was having extra class. And he take my daughter and tell my daughter all she needs to do is also pay for the subjects. And my daughter pay for it, and she got them in one. So I was that gave me more impetus to go and vote for him. But he was no good because the things them are here on the street that he's doing the job them himself, and so the Labour right them said, "Nah, go vote." Vote team.
Well, you appealed to us this morning, NWC. Yeah, you need to increase the water pressure to. What's your address, sir?
Esher Hills, Providence or Esher Hills?
Esher Hills or Providence. That's up. Huh?
And everybody know me just behind the tank. All of them that work at the National Water Commission, they know because couple times, they send me water in truck. But every time now I go, they say they don't have no truck and they don't. But then I did hear the Prime Minister say they were going to give every parish water truck. No water now come on me water. No water, they now get no water.
MP Davis, you hear the plea of your constituent? Yes? No water or very little water, very infrequent supply. Sir, I can only empathize with you and highlight your story, sir.
Yeah? Yes, Mr. Hughes. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
To make a call. Thank you.
Okay, good. Time for the break. After the break, the Commissioner of Indicom, Hugh Faulkner, inside the Service Excellence Hub.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock.
Super healthy, super happy. SuperMed located in Kingston, St. Thomas, Portland, and St. Mary. The time by SuperMed family of pharmacies and Hughes Dent Pharmacy is
a minute after 11.
Get ready for a show like no other. That's right. Every Monday from 11 to 11:15 a.m., we're bringing you the Service Excellence Hub right here on Cliff Hughes Online. Join us as we dive into the heart of the government's commitment to service delivery in the public sector. The Public Sector Modernization Division within the Office of the Cabinet is dedicated to making your Mondays and Wednesdays informative. Get a front row seat to engaging interviews with public officials, updates to the latest service improvements as the government raises the bar on service standards. The Service Excellence Hub, because we believe in better services, better workforce, and better institutions. Brought to you by the Public Sector Modernization Division in the Office of the Cabinet. It's all about service with excellence.
Cliff Hughes Online. Talk radio for all Jamaicans.
My hands were steady.
Well, this week inside the Service Excellence Hub, we'll take a look at the initiatives being implemented by Indicom, the Independent Commission of Investigations. It's an oversight body for the Jamaica Constabulary Force and the JDF. It's part of the government's plan to improve service delivery across all sectors. We have with us the Commissioner of Indicom, Hugh Faulkner. Good morning, Mr. Faulkner.
Good morning, Mr. Hughes. Thanks for having me, and good morning to your listeners.
You're welcome, sir. So, Indicom, yes? Often when we hear of Indicom, controversial circumstances, some tragic, some, loss of life or injury. Tell me, what are the initiatives that you're undertaking at Indicom to really improve your service?
Right. So, Cliff, just for the benefit of the listeners, we are tasked with the duty of investigating allegations of abuse of the rights of citizens by members of the security forces and agents of the state. You were quite correct, but I would add to the list that you named the Department of Correctional Services.
Okay.
And
Yes.
to this end, Cliff, in 2023, we investigated approximately 1,087 complaints. But what is significant, Cliff, in the nature of what we do is that your customers are, for the most part, either grieving or have some reported negative contact. So there's not a happy customer you'll be dealing with. So against this background, your customer service mechanism has to be on point. Now, some of the initiatives that we have established, Cliff, is that we have put on board what we term a family liaison officer. In other words, as you know, Indicom would send out its investigators and forensic personnel to scenes. But when you go to the scenes, there will be children grieving, sometimes father injured, sometimes father deceased, wife, girlfriend, etc., grieving. So there's a need for empathetic and sympathetic contact. So we have established, and you might hear in recent times us speaking about our family liaison office. And this is an essential part of our customer service, that you not only have your forensic team looking for any blood droplets, any ballistic material, any chemistry material, biology material, but the persons who are likely to be either eyewitnesses or formal witnesses to identify the body, that their circumstances and their grief are addressed. And so that's the role of our family liaison office, which we have established.
And where's that office located? How can people reach it?
Right. So once, in fact, it is routine. Once there is a fatality, Cliff, our family liaison officer is engaged. And, you know, sometimes there are incidents, Cliff, where the community is outraged of a particular incident. And again, our team would make contact and extract from the community their perspectives. And sometimes you might find that counseling is necessary. That is done. If we go to a scene and you observe that there's no running water, there's no toilet facilities, there's no bathroom facilities, children not going to school, then our family liaison officer will do what we call social intervention referral. And Cliff, this is guided by scientific study, which indicates that your witnesses, your complainants are more likely to follow an investigative process to its end where their demanding challenges are addressed. So we have, over the past year, achieved approximately 7 death burial grants for persons who have died allegedly at the hands of the security forces. So where we intervene and we observe that, you know, somebody dies, allegations are that the security forces involved and the family does not know where to turn to have the burial. And you do not wish, Cliff, for a pauper's burial to be, it extracts something from your dignity. So we have been successful in referring matters to the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, and we have had approximately 7 burial grants given. Additionally, where you intervene in a situation, and sometimes there are illnesses, and illnesses which create public stigma, we ensure that a social medical worker becomes involved. Where the family is encountering extreme hardship, then Cliff, they will not find the fear to come to court they will not necessarily have the fear to come to sign statement, give statements. So we seek to make the referral for what is termed rehabilitation grants to be given or registration on the PASS program. So we are hoping that down the road, these customer service initiatives will reduce the level of attrition of witnesses in some cases.
Yeah. And internally now, building that culture of excellence at Indicom, what changes you're making, in terms of...
Well, Cliff, one of the major changes that we have made is to bring on board the latest technology in case management. So we are 9 months into establishing what is called the Go Case system. This we have done through the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. So in all matters relating to the security forces across the board, our data compilation is far expanded. So one of the earlier rollout, and we had advised the security forces, is that we will be able to give data on the use of body-worn cameras. We'll be able to give data. In fact, Cliff, even where a baton is used to create a head injury, we are treating that as something worthy of statistical representation, because the consequences of a head injury may be different from somebody hitting you on the ankle.
Yes.
And so all of those data we'll be compiling. So we are in a better place to provide to the public of Jamaica and the Parliament of Jamaica greater data. We started with the body-worn cameras. We'll be also expanding to the timelines for the matters being reported to us, which would be forthwith, as according to Section 11 of the Indicom Act. We have also, in terms of governance, Cliff, because this is a part of our service to the people of Jamaica. On the 4th of September last year, we introduced an internal audit unit. Previously, we were audited only by the external auditor, which is the Auditor General. Now, internal audit is part of our modus operandi, so that all policies, the legislation are complied with. We have an internal audit charter. We'll have an audit committee. We'll have an audit plan, annual audit plan, and all the risk matrix are being attended to, whether it's your IT system, whether it's your accounting system, whether it's risk for staff, etc. All of these will be addressed with the establishment of an internal audit unit.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Hugh Faulkner, Commissioner of Indicom, the Independent Commissioner of Investigations. Thank you, sir.
Grateful.
Good. This is Nationwide 90 FM, Cliff Hughes online.
My eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose. My steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock.
The Service Excellence Hub was brought to you by the Office of the Cabinet Public Sector Modernization. Better services, better workforces, better institutions.
You know it's national. If you're up on the road or even home, it's always national. National. Even at church, have a snack at work. Little peanut no hurt. Crush crackers in a tea, give me 2 red please. Easy for share, can carry anywhere. Here or there, no other brand compares, yeah. And if you want something sweet, it's a for unique. It's always national. You know it's national. You know it's always national. Jamaica, born and bred, National Baking Company.
You now have the chance to live in luxury when you choose Suncoast Beach Club, an oceanfront resort-inspired gated community. Visit them for tours of their model unit from Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and Saturday to Sunday from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. All viewings are by appointment only, so schedule yours today. Email viewing@suncoastbeachclub.com or call 876-216-5454 to book your tour. Suncoast Beach Club, resort-inspired living.
Total Tools Rental and Electrical Supplies is Jamaica's one-stop shop for tools and equipment rental, sales, repair, service, transportation, and parts. They almost always have it. If they don't, they will source it. Check out their pickup and deliver service and their equipment with operator for hire service. Visit their Ocherius or Crossroads branch. Follow them on social media. Call or WhatsApp 876-834-5300.
This is a rebroadcast of the presentation made by Prime Minister Andrew Holness at the groundbreaking ceremony for the Rio Cobra Content Water Treatment Plant in St. Catherine.
Today is a great day as we gather to break ground for this significant project, the Rio Cobra Water Supply System Upgrade. In 2009, the NWC presented the Jamaica Water Supply Improvement Project. 2009, a substantial capital investment program to the Cabinet. The NWC's intention was to implement various initiatives, including the procurement of a 15 million imperial gallons per day capacity water treatment plant at Content St. Catherine, also called the Rio Cobra Water Treatment Plant. The submission was approved and authorized the NWC to enter into contract with Vinci Construction Grand Projects, VCGP, to execute the Jamaica Water Supply System Improvement Project. At the time, this was intended to be a medium-term initiative geared at meeting the growing water supply needs in St. Catherine, as well as to reduce the shortfall between the demand and supply of water in the Kingston metropolitan area. However, circumstances dictated that the project financing was redirected for the NWC to address the severe drought conditions in the northern and western parishes of the island at the time. Upon the completion of the drought mitigation projects in the northern and western parishes, the NWC sought to reactivate the project in 2016. So, it has taken us many years to reach to this point, and I must confess that I had hoped this would have happened sooner, but I'm thankful we are finally here today to break ground. The NWC supplies 180 million imperial gallons of potable water each day to its more than 500,000 registered accounts, representing approximately 2 million Jamaicans across the island. However, within the last 5 decades, the growth of residential, business, and industrial users have resulted in the establishment of several new commercial entities and residential communities in various sections of the Kingston metropolitan area, which has resulted in a significant increase in the demand for potable water. Now, I'm going to present some statistics that I want you to pay close attention. Prior to the significant investment and improvements made by the NWC over the last 7 years, the NWC was required to supply an average of approximately 55 million imperial gallons daily to meet the water requirements in the Kingston metropolitan area. After the investments and improvements over the last 7 years, including the non-revenue water project, the requirement is now down to 38 million imperial gallons daily. This is a reduction of 17 million gallons per day in what was previously simply wasted water. During the dry season, our supply capacity is approximately 28 million gallons per day. These periods of drought, understandably, cause a great level of frustration and inconvenience to our citizens and great stress to the NWC team and myself, who must respond through the trucking of water, particularly to alleviate the aggravation and dissatisfaction experienced by our customers. Further, as the economy continues to grow and with increased climate variability and change, the situation will get worse. A solution, therefore, had to be found. This project is therefore one of many solutions being implemented across our island. The project involves the design, build, finance, operate, maintain, and transfer of a 15 million imperial gallons daily water treatment plant. And the scope of the works entails the construction of an intake system inclusive of lift pumps, duty and backup pumps, the construction of a conveyance pipeline from river to treatment plant site, the construction of a 15 million gallon capacity treatment plant, and the interconnections to the NWC's distribution network. When the project is complete, we can expect improved water supply and reliability for St. Catherine and the KSA areas, better resilience in the water sector during periods of drought, and improved water supply to facilitate our continued development in the business and residential sectors. In the worst of our worst droughts last year, the supply shortfall for the Kingston metropolitan area was 12.5 million gallons daily. When the additional 15 million gallons per day comes on stream from this project, that supply will be totally covered plus a surplus. But with worsening climate change, we have to continue to build even more capacity to ensure that we have enough buffers. The construction of this project is estimated to be completed within 2 years, followed by a 23-year period of operation by the private partners, after which ownership of the plant will be transferred to the NWC. The PPP arrangement may also be renewed for an additional 5 years after the expiration of the initial 23 years. This plant will be the second largest in Jamaica. And the largest, of course, is the Constant Spring Water Treatment Facility. The project is expected to positively impact over 150,000 NWC customers in the Kingston and St. Andrew metropolitan area, in Portmore, the new parish, and Spanish Town. So if you took all the areas that will benefit, the overall number of beneficiaries would be about 600,000 Jamaicans by this project. In addition, it will reduce the need for the trucking of water and reduce, if not eliminate, the need for water restrictions to affected areas during our periods of drought. This is a win-win for the NWC, its customers, and for all Jamaica. Let me be a bit more specific about what this billion-dollar investment means. It means that communities like West Kingston, Arnett Gardens, Seaview Gardens, Majestic Gardens, and a community that's very near and dear to me, Olympic Gardens. And I hear my friend say, oh boy, so that there is no belief that there is any favoritism in this project. Some time ago, about 2 years ago, you may recall that there was a break in our pipeline infrastructure running along the Mandela Highway. Some of you may recall that. That massive pipeline feeds Kingston and St. Andrew by taking water from the Tullow Springs. the communities that are fed by that are West Kingston, Arnett Gardens, Seaview Gardens, Majestic Gardens, and Olympic Gardens. In fact, the entire western end of Kingston and St. Andrew is fed by that pipeline. So when that pipeline broke, all of those communities were without water. The pipeline broke in Christmas, and I remember my constituents calling me, complaining bitterly that whilst everyone else was able to enjoy their Christmas, they did not have water to do their basics. So I stand here today feeling a sense of achievement. We were able to repair that pipeline, and some of you may have seen the intense work that took place in repairing that pipeline along Mandela. But we did more than that, Natalie. We extended the pipeline through using new technology for underground boring, and extended that pipeline all the way down past Tivoli Gardens on Spanish Town Road, and I believe that pipeline is going to end up in Port Royal, which has actually started already. Now, I say this and go into this detail, which obviously is a departure from my script, because the conversation about the government's rate of investment in critical infrastructure like water and roads progresses on a pathway as if nothing has been done. And I always take the opportunity to bring to the public the work of your government. The pipeline that broke along Mandela Highway was built some almost 50 years ago. 50 years ago, the pipeline had outlived its useful life. In fact, the entire pipeline running from 6 miles, 2 to 3 miles, going all the way down past West Kingston, all of that pipeline, all of those pipelines reached their useful life, meaning that they were just only surviving by the grace of God. When water pressure falls, the pipes collapse because it is the pressure in the pipe that keeps the flow. The material has decayed. The flow in the pipes lessened because there is a buildup of material inside the pipes. The question that really must be asked is, why didn't we replace those pipes 20 years ago? Yes, we're complaining about them now, but why wasn't it done then? And why is it that we are able to do it now? Those are the relevant questions that must be asked. The frustration about the pain points that people experience with water and roads. Natalie, the road here wasn't bad since 2016. The bridge that you require across the river wasn't needed since 2016. On my way in, I heard a lady calling one of the radio stations, and I listened to her very carefully. She said, "Prime Minister, you're born and grow in Spanish Town. When last you have been to Spanish Town?" I go to Spanish Town quite regularly because I have family in Spanish Town. And she was talking about the conditions in Spanish Town. From I was born, the conditions in Spanish Town have been that way. And I don't intend to leave it like that. The conditions of the market, the selling on the roads, all of those problems have been there for a very long time. So the conversation which seems to start yesterday is an unfair and unrealistic conversation. Because if you are honest to yourselves and look at what the government has done. We are the only government, the only one that has made the investments in improving infrastructure and in dealing with the issues that affect people. She mentioned, and I listened to her very carefully, she mentioned the situation that people have to be waiting in long lines in the tax office. I remember, when I had to go to the tax office, how uncomfortable it was. And when I drove past, I saw a post office, and I saw a long line of pensioners and part beneficiaries lining up to get their benefits, and it really hurts. And that is why in the budget, the Minister of Finance announced a program of building out new customer-friendly tax collection buildings right across the country. The question must be then, so these things have been happening for so long. Why didn't they fix it when they had the authority to do it 20 years ago? Why? They couldn't do it. You know why they couldn't do it? Because they did not run the economy in such a way that they could find the resources to do it. Let's be fair. Let's be fair. This project is a multi-billion, the chairman says this is a big deal. And it is a big deal. You know why it is a big deal? Many of you probably won't see it. You will see, oh, it's building 15 million gallons treatment plant that will offset the need for water in Kingston and St. Andrew and the other areas. But that's not why it is big. And I'm saying this for the benefit of my Jamaican people who are complaining every day, but not seeing the transformation as to how that transformation is going to address the issues you complained about. If this plant were being done 20 years ago, it could have only been done by the government borrowing the money. In other words, to solve your water problem, to solve your road problem, the only way that those governments knew how to do it would have been to borrow. And so why, precisely, my friend, so while you may get improved water, you get more debt with it, and when you get more debt, inevitably you must get more taxes. So you will get budgets coming with more taxes. Now we have made a commitment that we are going to run the economy in such a way that we care about you, that we don't place a burden on you. And so we are going to find the creative ways of making these investments so that these investments do not become a burden on you. We are doing this, and we have read a budget where there are no new taxes to fund any of the investments that we are making in infrastructure. This has to be said, because if it is not said, people will run away with unreasonable critique of the performance of the government. We have been this way before. And if it is one thing that we must do, we must learn from our past. So, the western communities of Kingston and St. Andrew will benefit from this. They will now have an adequate source of water. Another critical project that I must mention is the Forest Hills Distribution Network upgrade, which will be happening in parallel with this project to ensure benefits to the people of West Rural St. Andrew, that is Red Hills to Cooper's Hill, which have faced chronic water issues for certainly as long as I've been alive. I must also mention the Morosco Road Wells Rehabilitation Project, which will be commissioned shortly, and this combination of project investments will ensure that we will be well on our way to achieving water resilience in the Kingston and St. Andrew metropolitan area, Portmore and St. Catherine prior to 2030. This will also diversify our resources and reduce reliance on the Hermitage Dam and the Mona Reservoir, which, by the way, I should point out, the Mona Reservoir is over 50 years old, about over 60 years, well, much older than that, over 70 years old. That was built by the colonial government, and that is what has carried us for many decades. We will have to make some new investments in the Mona Dam. We are going to do a special investment there, which Minister Samuda spoke about, which is the implementation of a solar project. And that will give electricity to drive the treatment plant, which will reduce the cost to the NWC. The Hermitage Dam is close to 100 years old. Close to 100 years old. Any infrastructure like that must go through a series of routine maintenance and upgrades. So we are examining how to treat with that infrastructure. It's critical to our water network, so it is likely that the next big announcement you hear about water is something to do with the Hermitage Dam and how to improve that dam so that it will last us for another 100 years. These are the levels of investments that we are making to ensure that we have water resiliency in our system. The overall estimated project cost is 77 million United States dollars, or 12 billion Jamaican dollars. This is a massive project. Since the announcement of this modality for executing the project, that is the PPP modality, when we signed the contract in November 2022, there has been some debate regarding the private sector involvement in public infrastructure like this project. And I know that there are many Jamaicans who, when they hear private sector involvement in the delivery of public good, they are automatically concerned. I remember when I announced a few months ago that we're going to seek to have private sector involved in garbage collection, in municipal waste collection. There was people saying, oh, are we going to be charged? There are many different models in which we can incorporate the efficiency of private sector operations without the private sector directly interfacing with the public. So for the public, you will see, you will not be charged by an independent entity of the public service. No, the public service maintains the forward face of the service delivery, but in the background, the private sector operates. So the access for which people worry about, that access will be maintained. You won't have to worry about having to negotiate with a private person for the provision of a public. No, that's not the intention. What we want to do is to get the innovation, the good management, the good business practices of private sector involved in the production of the service. The government continues to be the front end of the distribution of the service. So the public won't have to worry. What the public will see is an improvement in service. What the government gets is a reduction in its cost of operation. Because let's face it, you know, governments aren't set up really to specifically manage every single operation of, for example, water treatment. No matter how good you are as a public sector, you will end up with all kinds of inefficiencies, where it is better that the government insulates itself from those inefficiencies and let the private sector deal with it. The role of the government, therefore, becomes to ensure that the service standard is maintained. So government becomes a proper regulator on your behalf. And that's the model that we will have to pursue. So I want to reassure Jamaicans that you're not going to see any increase in costs. In fact, it is highly likely that your costs will go down and your service will improve. So let's discuss some of the issues that would have crossed the minds of the public. Now, generally, there are two methods by which government may finance public infrastructure, either through public financing, that is direct use of the nation's resources, or through public-private partnerships using private financing. Government engaging private investors to undertake capital expenditure for specific projects. And that's what this project is. While public financing is self-explanatory, with private financing, this is usually done by way of project finance, where a special purpose vehicle is created by the private investors to deliver a particular infrastructure project. The private investors have the responsibility of raising funds, and they contract with the government to design, build, operate, and maintain the asset. The private investors, at the end of the contract period, transfer the assets to the government at no additional cost. This project is being financed in that way, and that is why we say this is a public-private partnership. At the end of the financial life of the project, it will be handed over to the government. At that point in time, the government can decide to operate it. The government can decide to make more investments in it, to expand it, to upgrade it, and it may very well go to another public-private partnership for its operations. So the next question is, who are the participants in the Rio Cobre Public-Private Partnership Project? The Rio Cobre Water Limited is a special purpose vehicle incorporated to build, operate, and manage the water treatment plant, and comprises the following partners: Vinci Construction Group, Grand Projects, a member of the Vinci Group, which is among the largest construction groups in the world, operating in over 100 countries. The company has been involved in several major engineering projects and construction projects around the world, and has been in Jamaica since 1999, where they implemented several large-scale water projects, including projects along the Rio Cobre here. Then there is the Jamaica Producers Group Limited, a diversified multinational group focused on Caribbean logistics and global specialty foods, which is publicly listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. And then there is the Epley Limited, an investment company focused on credit, real estate, and infrastructure opportunities in the Caribbean, also a listed company on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. The arrangers of the deal are Sagicor Jamaica Limited, Proparco, and IDB Invest. These entities arrange the financing required to construct the project. Another question that may be on the minds of the public is, will the Rio Cobre project result in increased cost to customers? I had said that the NWC, as a prescribed utility service regulated by the OUR, and is permitted to charge customers at the rate approved by the OUR. So in effect, there can be no rate increase spurred by the PPP. Any rate increase must go through the regular process of the OUR. Furthermore, the Rio Cobre Water Limited would also be regulated by the OUR under license. As such, any charge to the NWC by the Rio Cobre Water Limited must be approved by the OUR. This is no different from how any other utility operates or is regulated. Another question that may also be on the minds of the public and the staff is, will the implementation of this project by the private sector result in staff layoffs at the NWC? The answer is no. The NWC staff will not be affected. This is an addition, not a replacement. The private consortium will produce and deliver the desired quantity and quality of water to the NWC distribution network. Existing staff operating our water supply network within the area will continue to do so. The water treatment plant will have its own independent staff and will be under the management and control of the Rio Cobre Water Limited. I wish to congratulate all who made this morning's activity possible, the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Permanent Secretary Arlene Williams is here, and former Permanent Secretary, now Cabinet Secretary Audrey Sewell, both worked on the project, and I want to thank you for your effort in having this project come to fruition. The NWC is here, led by the chairman, the Vinci Construction Group, EPLI, and Jamaica Producers. I also want to acknowledge the Development Bank of Jamaica, who led the entire enterprise to this point, the Sagicor Group, Proparco, and IDB Invest for their role in the financing of this important project that will benefit our people. Public-private partnerships like this one are so valuable for the growth of our economy, which creates the means by which we improve the lives of our people. The NWC says water is life, and we continuously work to improve the lives of our people. The government has been very strategic and successful in partnering with the private sector and attracting private capital to develop critical public infrastructure. We have successfully used PPPs to develop our airport and seaports and our roads, in power generation, in water, in the provision of housing, and in other areas. We plan to continue to expand the use of PPPs in other areas, such as national security, health, and education. As I have often said, but it is worth repeating, the government cannot do it alone. We need all hands on deck. As I close my presentation, I will say to my good friend Natalie, the government has made an allocation of $150 million in the first instance to be used for critical, local, secondary, and possibly some community roads. There is another allocation which will be done on a prorated basis, meaning that depending on the number of miles of roads that you have relative to the miles of roads in Jamaica, you will get an allocation relative to that. So you could possibly get another 150 million. So each constituency could get up to 300 million. Now, I want all of you who are listening, everyone who is listening, who you might be today facing challenges about the road in your area. You get up every day, you drop in pothole, you vex. You know, in 2003, a good friend of ours, and I say ours, said Jamaica will be free by 2003. The struggle, Natalie, the struggle to improve our roads has been an ongoing struggle. But no government has ever been in the position that this government has put itself in to actually be able to repair roads. You tell me when in the budget, this is not now a promise, this is in the budget that has been read, that $300 million per constituency has been allocated. Now, even if we could snap our fingers and all roads are repaired, it still couldn't be done in 1 year. We will never be able to repair all our roads that are in need of repair in one budget year. We need to identify the roads, then it needs to go through a process of ensuring that whatever money we are spending on those roads makes sense. That is called the public investment process. Then once we said, all right, the road that we identified, it makes sense to spend the money on it, then we go through a process called procurement. Who gets to fix the road? And then when that is done, the road has to actually be fixed. Tractors have to be mobilized to dig up the road, to lay the surface. All of that takes time. We've presented a budget where we have identified the financing. We have put in place a process of consultation. So I would urge you, Member of Parliament, to consult with your constituents to come up with the priority list. And I'm sure, based upon what I have seen, that the road that we drove on would be a priority. Use that process. Let's get that road fixed this year. Next year, we get another set fixed. And then next year, we get another set fixed. What has changed, my Jamaican family, is the process by which government can respond to your needs. No government has ever been in that position, because if they even tried to do it, the only way they could do it would be to borrow. And then when they borrow, they come back and put more tax on you. And then when they come back and put more tax, they say, you know what? Let's put a wage freeze. And then all the dreams and hopes are shattered. We go into a political cycle, and then people change. No, you made a change for a government who will run the economy well, not be a burden on you, and then be caring enough to take those dividends from the good governance and the good management and spend it back on your roads. Not 1 year, but for budget years to come, to solve these problems that should have been dealt with 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. They are being dealt with now. So, Natalie, the one thing that I will take from your presentation, which I always agreed with, because when you drive along the flat bridge, you can see the communities having to walk to go to the flat bridge, and they use the flat bridge to cross, which is quite dangerous. So I agree with you that what you should now do, Natalie, in this new dispensation of how the country is run, is that I would invite you to develop a project. You have the project developed? Well then, you developed it in your time. We will be happy to implement it for you, Natalie. We will be happy to get it done for you. So, Natalie, please, don't write to me as Prime Minister. Write to me as a Minister of Economic Growth and Job Creation with responsibility for works and other things. Send the project over. Let us look at it. Let us look at it. And this is why it's very important, because my friend Natalie is saying politics. You know what we have done to avoid that criticism, which is quite unfortunate? The government can spend no money on capital unless it goes through the public investment process. You know how we suffered for that? By the Troy Bridge. It would have been good politics for the government of the day to just take up the money and fix the Troy Bridge. You wouldn't say it is politics, right? Because that would be hidden by the fact that the people wanted the bridge to be able to cross. But it is inherently a political act. We have insulated the expenditure of public resources by instituting this business called public investment assessment. So any project that is going to come must go through that investment assessment. And it's not led by us. The greatest complaint I have from politicians on both sides is the time it takes in public investment assessment and the time it takes in procurement. So, look, you know what has happened? The people are arguing in 2010, 2009, 2020, 2009 and 2000 Jamaica, the old Jamaica. The new Jamaica now has so many institutions in place to protect public expenditure and ensure that we make the right decisions. We are in Jamaica 2.0 and we are building it out every single day. Bear in mind as I close, this project was developed by Minister Chang in 2009. We lost the election in 2011. Developed the project, ready to execute. And we are only now able, after almost, 15 years, to have the project done. Let's just reflect on that. And who is doing it? You know, I said I've spent almost 70% of my time treating with projects that were started by previous administrations that they didn't have either the technical capabilities to carry through, the implementation capability, or the financial wherewithal. I don't come here, Natalie, telling you that all the infrastructure work and everything that we're doing is my original idea. No. I am doing the job that should have been done decades ago. That's what we're doing. And I really hope that the Jamaican people spend the time to honestly reflect on the situation that exists. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been such a wonderful audience. Thank you so much.
That was a rebroadcast of the presentation made by Prime Minister Andrew Holness at the groundbreaking ceremony for the Rio Cobra Content Water Treatment Plant in St. Catherine.
Furniture Land at 112 Constant Spring Road is Jamaica's premier furniture retailer when searching for stylish and elegant pieces for your home. The time by Furniture Land is
7 minutes to noon.
Go crazy for this offer from Flow. Get a free Samsung phone and earbuds when you sign up for Flow Yard and Road for the special price of $4,999 plus GCT. Free is all the craze. This crazy offer won't last long. Visit discoverflow.co or your nearest Flow store for more info. Conditions apply.
Seniors, the Ministry of Labour and Social Security is advising that the March 2024 payment under the Social Pension Programme is now ready for collection. Check your text messages to confirm your payment arrangements. For further information, call 876-922-8007 or check the Ministry's website www.mlss.gov.jm. The Social Pension Programme, caring for our elderly. A message from the Ministry of Labour and Social Security.
Welcome deluxe, the cream cracker that rises to the top. So crisp, so light, so buttery. When you're good, you're just good. Hey, had the national flavor. You go off and buy this pack. So good, it's just so good. Welcome deluxe, the cream cracker that rises to the top.
So crisp, so light, so buttery.
National Baking Company, just so good.
Cliff Hughes Online. Talk radio for all Jamaicans.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock. Like a rock. I was strong as I could be.
All right, we have time for one caller. Just minutes to go to the midday news. That presentation by the Prime Minister. Rather interesting exchanges there with the Prime Minister, and trying to really to promote the message that he's getting the things done that the other side did not get done during their time at the wicket. Mr. Black, good morning.
Good morning to you, Mr. Hughes.
Good morning, sir.
Great. Long time listener of your program, ever since I was a younger folk.
Yes, sir.
And I'm always thrilled with the conversations that you entertain on your program. But today I'm calling for some reasons, and dependent on the time. Now, in a synopsis, one of the reasons on which I'm calling I would like to have a government body representing the people of Northeast St. Elizabeth that were displaced out of their jobs by the unfortunate closure of the Appleton Estate, or a certain fraction of the Appleton Estate, and the fact that they were never properly compensated by that entity, and the fact that they were not properly compensated, and the way the whole closing of that fraction of the company was done, and how the people were treated.
When you said that faction, what do you mean by that faction of the company?
The sugar cane fraction. A fraction of it will be the sugar cane, where that fraction is no longer functional at the Appleton Estate factory in St. Elizabeth. And history shows that the Appleton Estate sugarcane factory was started on the grounds of being a slave mill, if you go and find out the history about Appleton Estate and so forth, and when it initiated and how it began. Now, we realize that Northeast St. Elizabeth has a lot of opportunities for development. However, the fact that most of the land in Northeast St. Elizabeth, or most of the land in Northeast St. Elizabeth are owned solely by Appleton Estate from ever since, it kind of cripples government development generally. For say, there are crucial land spaces that are not held by the government that could have used for infrastructural or housing development or other forms of development by the government. They are not the holders of that land, apparently.
Mr. Black, Mr. Black, you have to go call me back. We're out of time. It's time for the World at Noon. Call me back after the break. Okay? Good. That's how we're going to leave it for the morning session. Take care.
My eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose. My steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock. Like a rock. I was strong as I could be, like a rock. Nothing ever got to me, like a rock. I was something to see, like a rock. And I stood arrow straight, unencumbered by the weight of all these hustlers and their schemes. I stood proud, I stood tall, high above it all. I still believed in my dreams.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
12 o'clock.
It's credible and factual. The World at Noon on Nationwide 90 FM.
Good afternoon to you. I'm Tona Thomas. Coming up in the Nationwide World at Noon for this afternoon, Monday, March 18, 2024. DPP Paula Llewellyn says her office will ask the Court of Appeal to order a retrial for Vybz Kartel and his 3 co-accused.
The prosecutors are obliged to go on a particular path.
And DPP Paula Llewellyn says sequestering juries in Jamaica would result in fewer people wanting to serve.
I recognize that you cannot avoid Jamaican jurors like to be able to go home every day.
4 people injured in fiery crash on the PJ Patterson Highway this morning. In regional news, the Cubans stage rare protest over power blackouts. In international news, crowds gather in Red Square as Putin claims landslide election win. And in sports, JFF President Michael Ricketts says he expected to win presidential elections by a larger margin. The details after the break.
I've been hearing about this constitutional reform thing. You know anything about it?
Yes, constitutional reform is a chance for us to Jamaicanize the constitution.
But how?
Enough things changed since 1962 and we have matured as a nation. So modernizing the constitution will reflect our current societal values.
Oh, a constitution for Jamaicans, approved by Jamaicans.
Are you ready for the journey? Join us on the road to Republic. Think independence, think Republic. A message from the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs.
The Midday News is brought to you by Total Tools. We almost always have it.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. The Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, Paula Llewellyn, says her office will ask the Court of Appeal to order a retrial for Vybz Kartel and his 3 co-accused.
I believe we would be obliged to, given the strength of the case for the prosecution that was put up. And given the authorities and the case law, I think that, as I reflect going forward to my retirement next year, I have been too successful in seeking to, and I'm happy about it, to sensitize the public, to sensitize the media, to try to explain a lot of complex issues. Very often, and I say this, when you have knowledge of the state of the law in any particular area, for example, retrial, the prosecutors are obliged to go on a particular path.
Cartel, whose given name is Adisha Palmer, Sean Campbell, Kahira Jones, and Andre St. John, had their murder convictions overturned in the Privy Council last Thursday. The UK-based court ruled that the local court of appeal should determine if a retrial should be held. The DPP says her office will be guided by the law in making submissions before the court of appeal on the matter.
The public has to be aware that the issue of retrial, as far as lawyers, let me say prosecutors and the judiciary are concerned, has nothing to do with emotion. It has nothing to do with who the accused is. It has to do with the seriousness of the offense, the public interest, how perhaps expensive it may be to mount the retrial. It doesn't even have to do with what the likely verdict may be, but it has to do with a number of factors which have been outlined in what we would call the locus classicus from the Privy Council in a case called Dennis Reed.
DPP Paula Llewellyn, Director of Public Prosecutions, she was speaking on Nationwide this morning on Monday. Meanwhile, the DPP says sequestering juries in Jamaica would result in fewer people wanting to serve. Sequestering is the process of isolating the jury for the duration of a trial.
I recognize that you cannot avoid looking at the local culture of a particular place. In Jamaica, Jamaican jurors like to be able to go home every day. That's my take on it. And I find sometimes you have attorneys, and everybody can have an opinion, but whenever I hear of attorneys talking about sequestering a jury, which, just to explain to the public, is where whether the case is 1 week in duration or 3 months in duration, I think they have it in some places in the American jurisdiction, you would be from day one be put up at a hotel, so you would not really be able to go home. That, I know, would not be popular here. You probably would never get a juror to serve.
The matter of sequestering has been raised as a possible solution to jury tampering. The recommendation came following last Thursday's decision by the UK-based Privy Council overturning the murder convictions of Adisha Palmer and his co-accused. That decision rested on repeated attempts at contaminating the jury through bribes. The case has been sent back to the local court of appeal to consider a retrial. DPP Llewellyn says the reality of juries in Jamaica differs from other countries.
For example, in England, I will say, they may have a situation where if the matter is very complex, 3 months, 4 months in duration, the trial, the judge is going to sum up for 4, 5, 6 days. Maybe they may have a situation where they sequester, perhaps at the end of the day, because they expect the jurors to stay out for a day or many hours. In Jamaica, and I've been practicing for some 30-odd years, the jurors don't usually stay out longer than 1.5, 2 hours. If they go over 2 hours, that is in the exceptional case.
DPP Paula Llewellyn. Now, 4 people were taken to hospital following a fiery crash on the PJ Patterson Highway Monday morning. Videos circulating on social media show one of the passengers on fire rolling along the roadway. The man was then seen with what appears to be severe burns to his upper body. Head of the Traffic Enforcement Division in the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, Superintendent Winchester Watson, says the vehicle crashed into a guardrail and burst into flames.
About 7:30 this morning, a Toyota Corolla motor car was traveling along the PJ Patterson Highway, heading easterly towards Kingston. When on reaching the vicinity of Florida, the driver lost control of the vehicle. The vehicle ended up in the guardrail. the vehicle engulfed in flames immediately, and the 4 occupants of the vehicle. So 2 received minor burns while 2 were exposed to burns. They were rushed to the Mayton Hospital, and the old Harbour Fire Unit responded and cooled down the flames.
Superintendent Winchester Watson, head of the Traffic Enforcement Division of PSTEB, he was speaking with Nationwide News on Monday. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang says renovation and construction of police facilities in St. James are to be fast-tracked. The minister toured several police facilities in Montego Bay on Saturday, accompanied by outgoing Commissioner of Police Major General Anthony Anderson, Commissioner-designate Dr. Kevin Blake, and Chief Technical Director in the ministry Delroy Simpson. The facilities visited included Freeport, Barnett Street, and Coral Gardens police stations, and the former Area 1 headquarters on Sewell Avenue. Minister Chang says the upgrades to the Freeport police station will cost approximately $200 million.
Taking stock of what's here in view of doing some significant work is, of course, the need to refurbish the barracks at Freeport, which will save us a lot of money and also ensure more efficient deployment of the men. We can accommodate about 200 without needing to have rented premises for the high-cost residents in Montego Bay, and also look at just general upgrading the station. We look at Barnett Street, it's an old facility, some of the buildings are content heritage. We'll have to look at how we can refurbish those places. We need the space, the city station, and that has always been a troublesome area for us, but it has improved significantly, and we need to maintain the stability downtown. And we are taking steps to ensure that the men in that station have proper facilities to operate from, both in terms of the office space and the residence space.
The security minister also announced the impending construction of the new Specialized Operations West Police Facility in Montego Hills at a projected cost of $7 billion.
Then we went to look at the Montego Hills location, where we're putting a new Mobile West facility, but in fact it will be a police complex. The station there will be refurbished, and you'll have a community station along with the residences for some near 300 officers. Montego Hills. We have advanced that planning. We may be able to break down the end of this financial. Well, the financial year coming up, start on the 1st of April. So that's an important addition to the facility in this region, because currently, again, we have to not only rent space, and when you get in the winter season, we need more police officers, as there's far more local population pass through the town to work in the service sector. You run into problems with accommodation. I said the area is growing, and we have not ensured that the facilities, service facilities, have grown as they should. That will be a major addition.
Dr. Horace Chang, a Minister of National Security. 24-year-old Marquise Ellis has had several charges laid against him in relation to the shooting death of 58-year-old businessman Norman Dunkley of West Cumberland in Portmore, St. Catherine on Tuesday, November 2, 2021. He has been charged with murder, illegal possession of a firearm, and illegal possession of ammunition. Reports from the Duhaney Park Police are that about 10:40 a.m. on the date, Ellis and 2 accomplices, all armed with handguns, pounced upon Dunkley as he drove his blue Toyota Surf motor truck along Trelawney Avenue, Riverton City, Kingston 11. The men opened gunfire, hitting him before escaping. Dunkley was transported to the hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Ellis was taken into custody on Wednesday, March 13, after a confrontation with lawmen in the Riverton City community. The Jamaica Teachers Association, JTA, wants the government to increase the budgetary allocation to both primary and secondary schools. JTA President Leighton Johnson says this is one of the issues he wants addressed in the ongoing budget debate. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark opened the 2024-25 budget debate last Tuesday. Mr. Johnson says an increase in the allocation for primary and secondary schools is long overdue and is now a matter of urgency.
Allocation is increased in terms of the amount per capita, that's the amount of money given to the schools per student. We want to see an increase in the allocation for the amount given to primary schools. That is urgent. Primary schools receive $2,500 for the longest while. And of course, at the secondary level, it is between $17,000 and $19,000. we'd want to see an increase to the per capita amount. And then we'd want the Ministry of Education, having received that allocation, to now ensure that how monies are disbursed to schools, this is done on an equitable basis.
Leighton Johnson, President of the Jamaica Teachers Association. President of the People's National Party Women's Movement, Patricia Duncan Sutherland, says the nation needs an army of social workers to address domestic abuse. She was speaking Monday morning at the Jamaica Teachers Association's Status of Women's Committee 5th Annual Women's Conference.
We're going to have to, yes, invest in the infrastructure for the supportive systems for those who are survivors of that abuse. But we have to invest now in the system to change our family structures and invest in the system to change the way we look at each other. And you would have heard me say it before, and I'm saying it again. We need an army of social workers. And those social workers need to work in partnership with our teachers and be in our schools. And we need to take a family-centered approach to our social work and support our families so we can begin to change that mindset.
Mrs. Duncan Sutherland says research has shown that 30% of women are missing work because of physical abuse. She says addressing the fractured family structure requires a partnership and active engagement.
It doesn't work by just saying a man should not beat a woman. It's not simply there. It means active engagement on the ground. It means active engagements in schools. It means creating that space where we can all actually choose to make a difference and choose to have a different family structure in our country. And it has to be deliberate and it has to be a partnership. So for me, it's not just a parent-teacher association partnership. It needs to be a parent-teacher and social partner, as I'm dubbing it, partnership. Because with the three together, we can then begin to shift that. That supported by an above-the-line campaign that gives people the idea of what it means to have a healthy family.
Patricia Duncan Sutherland, President of the People's National Party's Women's Movement. In regional and international news now, regional news, hundreds of people in Cuba's second largest city, Santiago, staged a rare public protest on Sunday over chronic power blackouts and food shortages. The island is facing its worst economic crisis for 3 decades, with large parts of Cuba being left without power for more than 14 hours a day. Videos on social media show people chanting power and food. Its president blames the situation on U.S. sanctions, but critics say it is down to government mismanagement. Tensions have soared in recent weeks as power generators fail to get the fuel they need for electricity into people's homes and for storing food in fridges and freezers. Cuba's President Miguel Diaz-Canel acknowledged the protests on social media. He said the disposition of his government and authorities was to attend to the complaints of their people, listen, dialogue, and explain the numerous efforts that are being carried out to improve the situation. In international news now, thousands of Russians are in Red Square a day after Vladimir Putin claimed a landslide election win. The Moscow rally is to mark the 10th anniversary of Russia's illegal annexation of Crimea. Putin may address the crowds. On Sunday, Vladimir Putin won a 5th term as Russian president by a landslide of 87%. He faced no credible opposition as the Kremlin tightly controls Russia's political system, the media, and elections. Germany called it a pseudo-election, while the U.S. said the vote is obviously not free nor fair. But China, India, Iran, and North Korea backed the result, with the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi offering warm congratulations. Ukraine's President Zelensky said Putin was drunk with power and is doing everything to rule forever. And that's it for the local, regional, and international segments at 12. Up next, sports.
The Midday News was brought to you by Total Tools. We almost always have it.
Stop buying expensive toner cartridges. Global Ink is now selling new factory direct generic toners. Remove factory seals, install and print. Engineered to work first time, every time. Certified for use in HB and Brother printers. Worry-free, affordable printing for your peace of mind. Money saved is money earned. We deliver island-wide. 754-7444 or 1-888-NEED-INK. Never run out of toner again. Global Ink.
Nationwide 90 FM, the station for the very latest in news and current affairs, will broadcast live from the No Cell Left Behind book launch. On Tuesday, March 19, and Nationwide at 5 will be at the Floor 2 Assembly at the University of the West Indies. Tune in as we inform Jamaica about this new revelation. You don't want to miss this launch. Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM from 6 to 8 p.m. That's a live broadcast of the No Cell Left Behind book launch during Nationwide at 5, Tuesday, March 19 from 6 to 8 p.m. only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Office of the Deputy Principal.
From the Nationwide News Network, comprehensive, up-to-the-minute local and international sports news, this is the Nationwide Sports at Noon.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to your midday sports report here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker. Several members of the national senior women's football team, which reached the round of 16 at the last FIFA World Cup in Australia, have indicated that they will be available to wear the Jamaica shirt again. General Secretary of the JFF, Dennis Chung, told the Nationwide Sports a short while ago that the Federation reached out to the players last week after securing an international friendly against Australia on April 5 in Florida. Chung says the response was positive and they're looking forward to having the players back for this big game against the Australians, who placed fourth at the last World Cup.
We have reached out to all of them, and some of them said they're available already. Got the information last week, but I know that some of them said they're available, so I'd have to confirm the amount. But we had reached out to all of them. Well, if they say they're available, then the coach will pick them, so I'm sure that we'll get some of them in the squad, yeah.
Dennis Chung, General Secretary of the Jamaica Football Federation, and the venue for the game against Australia on April 5 in Florida will be announced shortly, so he says. Now, the players made themselves unavailable for selection after losing to Canada in the two-way tie to qualify for the Paris Olympic Games. They pointed to a litany of issues for refusing to play for the national team, chief amongst them monies owed by the Jamaica Football Federation. Chung and the Federation have reported that all monies owed have now been paid up, which has been confirmed by the body representing the players, FIFPro. President of the Jamaica Football Federation, JFF, Michael Ricketts, says he had no doubt that he would have been returned as president of the association. Ricketts, who had been in office since 2017, beat the challenge Raymond Anderson by a vote of 39-17 to serve another 4-year term as head of local football. Ricketts believes, so he says, that the margin of victory could have been greater.
We canvass these numbers almost every day. We'd have had meetings with some of our key stakeholders. And I tell you, the last canvass we did, it came down to 40-16. So we'd have lost a vote. Still not sure where and how. But the last canvass we did, we were expecting 40-16 margin. There are some persons in my group who are politically very savvy. And they would have led the process. And they were very, very competent and committed in whatever we would have asked them to do. So we weren't surprised at all.
Ricketts says his only disappointment is that the campaign wasn't civil.
At the start, I begged that we have a clean and civil campaign, but it wasn't so at all. The truth is that I was trampled on. They tried to hurt my integrity. In fact, they launched a smear campaign against my slate members and myself. But you know, God has helped us to prevail, and we've stayed strong, we've stayed focused, and like I said, the rest is history. The show will go on.
That's Michael Ricketts. What's the future now for Anderson as a board member? Ricketts says the door is still open for anyone who wishes to serve Jamaica's football.
Those persons who have an interest in football and who have displayed the passion and the loyalty and the commitment, we're willing to embrace those. But I mean, some people just simply have no interest in football. I mean, those would not serve the sport well. But we are open, and of course, as of probably next week, we will start putting our committees together. And so we're looking at good, competent chairpersons as we try to chart a new way forward.
Michael Ricketts, president of the Jamaica Football Federation. The Anthony Spalding Sports Complex will come alive with a doubleheader in the Ray and Nephew Jamaica Premier League today. The opening game is at 5 o'clock and it features Cavalier against Portmore United, so it's second against fourth. A win for Cavalier would see them move within 1 point of leaders and champions Mount Pleasant Academy, while a win for Portmore would move them up 2 places to second. They'll be on 45 points, the same as Cavalier, with a superior goal difference. Meanwhile, in the second game, home team Arnett Gardens will take on Humberland. Edith Dalton James High School and Campion College will meet for the second time in the Issa Tip Friendly Society School Girls Football Competition this afternoon at 3. The last time they met, Edith won 6-0. Coach of the Duhaney Park-based school, Omar Taft, says they plan to maintain their dominance over Campion.
We're presently going to try and give more the players than that didn't get much playing time, so see where they are now, preparing for the second round. Yeah, we're still going for the win, still going for the 100% win. I want to go into the quarterfinal round with a high confident level.
That's Omar Taft. Edith has a 100% record, but what more encouraging is that they have only conceded 1 goal all season. Defender Latoya Chambers says they plan to maintain that statistic.
We'll win again because they're not really challenging, so we will play them again. I think it's not strong enough. I think that we're improving because last year we wasn't that good, but we're definitely improving.
Latoya Chambers. In other games, Alphonsus Davis will play Christiana. Homewood against Central High. Stats will take on Ardennes. Merle Grove will be up against Immaculate. Denham Town welcome Excelsior. And Camperdown will tussle with Tivoli Gardens. Nottingham Forest have been docked 4 points for breaching the Premier League profit and sustainability rules. An independent commission found Forest losses to 2022-23 breached the threshold of £61 million by £34.5 million. The immediate loss of points now mean they drop below Luton Town in the Premier League relegation zone. Forest, the second top flight team to be penalised for PSR breaches after Everton lost 10 points in November, which was reduced to 6 on appeal. Forest were likely to appeal against the ruling, had a hearing on March 7 and 8. Premier League clubs can lose £105 million over 3 seasons, £35 million per campaign, but Forest's maximum loss was only permitted to be 61 because they spent 2 years of the assessment period in the Championship. Now, the Commission found Forest demonstrated exceptional cooperation with the Premier League during the process. Now, the league's rules state any appeals process should conclude no later than, if possible, sometime before May 24, 5 days after the season ends. Home team Immaculate Conception and St. Hughes will lock horns on the first match of a doubleheader in the Issa Schoolgirls Urban Basketball League at the School Court this afternoon at 2 o'clock. In the second game, Merle Grove will take on St. Andrew High. Old Harbour, they'll welcome the Queen's School. Stats will play Holy Childhood. And Excelsior will take on Arden High. In the rural area competition, Herbert Morrison will tussle with Christiana. Mushet High will take on Mount Alvernia. And St. Elizabeth Technical High will take on Manchester High. Denby High boys and girls teams will be in action in today's round of games in the Issa JHF Under-19 Schools Hockey League at the Mona Field. In the opening game, Denby boys will take on the favorites Monroe at 2 p.m. and that's a preseason favorites. Denby High, currently positioned 6th on the table, are geared up to extend their 3-match undefeated streak. With a record of 1 win, 2 draws and a loss, Denby have shown resilience on the field, most notably defeating York Castle by 2-0 in their previous encounter. On the other end of the spectrum stands Monroe. They purchased second place in an impeccable record of 3 wins out of 3 games with a commanding goal difference of 10 and 9 points to their name. Monroe, they have been a force to be reckoned with all season. Their ruthless performance against Cloncarty High, Woolmer's boys, and even edging past defending champions JC underscored their dominance on the field. And Denby have displayed a commendable performance so far on the girls' side. They'll take on the Queen's School at 3 o'clock with a record of a win, a draw, and a loss. They stand poised at 4th place in the league table, keeping their sights set on the coveted semi-final playoff spot. Jamaica will be represented on the deck and in the pool at the Carifta Swimming Championships in the Bahamas, March 28 to April 7. Jamaica's Joseph Reynolds will serve as a deck referee, while the Aquatic Sports Association of Jamaica, ASAJ, certified a 26-member team to represent the country at the championships. It will cost $13 million for the swimmers to get to the Bahamas and compete. Reynolds says there's still a big gap in the budget.
We'd like to get some more sponsors. Anybody out there, please come help us sponsor because this is mostly parent funded. ACJ just does not have the funds. We're talking about approximately $400,000 per swimmer to go down to the Bahamas. We need all the help we can get. Come aboard, please, corporate. Come aboard and help us, our swimmers.
Yes, and he says corporate sponsorship is going to be so important more than ever.
On a whole, you keep having additional sports who are trying to get a piece of the same pie. So we all bombard places like Sports Development Foundation. We bombard Jamaica Olympic Association, but it's for the same size pie, and everybody's getting their little piece. So it's very difficult. Now, we're not track and field. Track and field doesn't really need, track and field get all the help that they need. We're not football either, although they can use some more fun, but swimming, we really need it, and it's very, very difficult for us.
Joseph Reynolds. Finally, it's sizzling time. The horse of Jamaican trainer Valerie Smith finished second in Saturday's $100,000 Harrison E. Johnson Memorial Stake at Laurel. But Smith wasn't about to complain. The gelding banked another $20,000, upping his career earnings to $327,766 US. Not bad for a horse who cost $1,000 at a yearling sale. Yeah, that will pretty much do it for your midday sports report here on Nationwide 90 FM. Sports is going to be back on this station at 5:25 this afternoon. Until then, I'm Wayne Walker. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for riveting conversations that will have you at the edge of your seat.
Tune into the Sound Off every weekday from 1 to 3 p.m. on 90.3, 90.5, 90.7, and 90.9. The Nationwide app or our Nationwide 90 FM YouTube channel. Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media.
The Olympic Games 2024 live from Paris in France, exclusively on Nationwide 90 FM.
The Jamaican star shines bright once again.
Live here halfway through the Olympic finals. This summer, Nationwide 90 FM is coming in hot. Jamaica to the Blacks! Nationwide 90 FM will be blazing as we bring you the games of the 33rd Olympiad live from the French capital, Paris. 16 fantastic days of competition in 41 sports.
Nobleen Williams-Mills coming, the glory flapping, her arms are waving, and Nobleen Williams-Mills coming through for Jamaica's gold.
The station will bring you analysis and live coverage from the opening day of competition, Friday, July 26th to the very last day of action on Sunday, August 11th.
And some parchment, let's go! Oh, what a run!
Everything and anything Paris Olympic Games 2024 can be heard right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
It is a glittering gold for Sharika Jackson, and how they will celebrate that back in Jamaica.
We'll capture the spirit of athleticism. We'll narrate the Olympic fever, define thrilling moments, and report on the blood, sweat, and tears of the world's greatest athletes. Nationwide 90 FM is going to the Paris Olympic Games, and we're taking you with us. Tune into Nationwide 90.3, 90.5, 90.7, and 90.9 for live updates and commentary. We'll be giving the listeners a front row seat to witness excitement, triumph, and memories.
And I think it was a clean sweep for the Jamaicans.
Stay tuned to Nationwide 90 FM 24/7. Experience the Paris Olympic Games 2024 right here on the Revolution in Media Nationwide 90 FM, your Olympic Center. Exclusively on Nationwide 90 FM.
To recap our top stories making the nationwide world at noon, DPP Paula Lowland says her office will ask the Court of Appeal to order a retrial for Vybz Kartel and its 3 co-accused. And DPP Lowland says sequestering juries in Jamaica would result in fewer people wanting to serve. 4 people injured in fiery crash on the PJ Patterson Highway this morning. I'm Tonna Thomas. You can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com and on the Nationwide app, available on Google Play and the App Store. Major news next at 5.
Never before in our history has there been more roads built or under construction at the same time. The Maypen to Williamsfield Highway, the Montego Bay Perimeter Road, the South Coast Highway Improvement Project, and many more. We are building Jamaica.
The time by the Office of the Prime Minister is
12:32. Nationwide 90 FM, the station for the very latest in news and current affairs, will broadcast live from the No Cell Left Behind book launch. On Tuesday, March 19, and Nationwide at 5 will be at the Floor 2 Assembly at the University of the West Indies. Tune in as we inform Jamaica about this new revelation. You don't want to miss this launch. Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM from 6 to 8 p.m. That's a live broadcast of the No Cell Left Behind book launch during Nationwide at 5, Tuesday, March 19 from 6 to 8 p.m. only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Office of the Deputy Principal.
On my mind this morning.
On my mind this morning.
On my mind this morning.
This year, Nationwide This Morning will be sharing the microphone and space with opinion leaders, newsmakers, and society's movers and shakers. Join us weekday mornings at 6:30 for What's on My Mind, where we'll feature several commentators focusing on issues affecting Jamaicans and our beloved country. We'll amplify what matters to you: politics, the economy, crime and security, gender, culture, entertainment, and everything in between. Tune in to Ricardo, Tana, and Saeed and our new commentators every weekday morning at 6:30 for What's on My Mind. Only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media.
Nationwide 90 FM, the station for the very latest in news and current affairs, will broadcast live the national budget debate presentations from March 12 to 26. The presentations begin March 12 when the Minister of Finance and the Public Service, the Honorable Dr. Nigel Clark, puts forward the government's plans to finance the budget for 2024 to 2025. The opposition spokesperson on finance, Julian Robinson, will make his presentation on March 14. The leader of the opposition, Mark Golding's contribution is on March 19. And the Prime Minister, the Most Honourable Andrew Holness, will make his presentation on March 21. The Finance Minister closes the debate on March 26. That's the 2024-2025 budget debates live on Nationwide 90 FM. As a result of our live coverage of the 2024-2025 budget debate presentations, the E-Zone will not be aired on March 12, 14, 19, 21, and 26, and the Sound Off will be aired from 1 to 2 p.m. on these days.
When was the last time you had a meaningful conversation on social media? The Twitter conversations are out of this world, which makes the term Twitter Spaces fitting. Get access to our Twitter Spaces. Get access to over 160,000 followers. Get live streaming on our airwaves and so much more. Businesses, this is your chance to get a direct customer engagement, brand visibility, networking, provide announcements from your company, and more. For more information, contact our sales team at 876-630-1210 or email sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Listen and engage in meaningful conversations. Only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media.
I'm tired of using technology.
Timeline with the stinger, Honey Bee.
Good afternoon, good afternoon. It's 12:36 in the afternoon of a Monday, March 18, 2024. And it's all about what's trending on the timeline now, yes, with Honeybee. Good afternoon, Honeybee.
Good afternoon, Cliff. How are you today?
Good. How was your weekend?
My weekend was pretty chill. I just stayed inside. I realized yesterday I didn't open my door at all.
No party?
You feel like I'm just outside like that, just a party, so just...
Not quite, but...
Every now and then.
Yeah, I know you're...
Every now and then we might go through a foot, but I didn't this weekend.
Oh, you relaxed?
Yes, I relaxed,
right.
you know? What about
No
you?
problem.
How was your weekend?
Well, my weekend is kind of tame. As is usual.
As is usual.
Yes, very tame.
Person, they can't catch it on a Raytown.
No, not back road.
Well, I'm happy to hear that you have moved past that point in your life, and now let us dive into the timeline, okay?
Exactly.
Yes. Now, Vibes Cartel will be trending for a while, yeah? Many are waiting to see how this whole case will play out. While we await the decision, Vibes Cartel's loved ones are hopeful. According to Urban Islands, the fiancé of the dancehall artist shared her feelings of joy and relief as she expressed that she and his family are awaiting the moment they can be reunited. You remember the fiancé? We had a whole...
Oh, that
lady,
from
Sidem Osterk. She's from England.
Sweden? Was it?
Well,
England?
she lives in England, right?
Ah.
Yeah, but she's from somewhere else. I remember
Some
right
European
now. Yeah,
country.
some European country. And yeah, very difficult. Ozturk, Sidem Ozturk, right?
Yeah. So I'm to Shorty.
That is a good question. That's what the people in the comments are asking.
Oh.
Because she's been with Vibes Cartel for 8 years, right? And while their relationship has been private, I mean, that was the only time we really heard much about them. And then he released an EP with music all about her. I mean, they've shared, as we know, that they're engaged to be married. So one would naturally expect that when and if things go in the way that she hopes, that they will be saying their nuptials sooner than late, right?
Okay.
Anyways, so in a comment to Urban Islands, Ozturk revealed that she's optimistic, and she had this to say. She says, "It feels amazing to claim victory in a case that has been going on for over a decade. I'm confident that he will be released soon, as there is very little chance of a retrial based on the precedents that the Privy Council has set. I know that, like me, his family wants to see him at home as soon as possible. God is on his side." You know? Anyway, so Vibes Cartel shared this to his social media pages, right? So one person commented, "Only wife who recognizes Shati, one Tanisha Gaza queen." To which Cartel responded, "You're drunk." Then another commented, "These scenarios remind me of Bob and Rita. That didn't end well, right?" Laughing emoji. "One Shati, one Gaza." Cartel responded, "You're high." So then another wrote, "One Tanisha, never switch." Carter responded, "You can't take her." I mean, listen, Mr. Hughes, I don't know what's going to happen, you know. But according to Curry, boy, I think I'll even know if Vibes Carter comes out and he's marrying this lady here, Ozturk, Shati gonna be the maid of honor. Yeah, one thing for sure, two things for certain, she's not gonna be left out of it. So I'm gonna know it can go. Yeah.
Shati is committed.
Yeah, man, like, I don't know. All right, moving on. More accolades for YG Marley. Last week, we shared that Praise Jah in the Moonlight hit 1 billion streams worldwide. Now, the reggae sensation continues to give thanks as his Billboard smash is now certified silver in the United Kingdom for sales of 200,000 units. The soulful reggae single was officially verified by the British Phonographic Institute, BPI, on Friday. You remember it? We previewed it for you last week.
Yeah.
Praise Jah in the Moonlight, which is a sample of his grandfather, Bob Marley, and the Wailers' song Crisis, received a solid reception following its December release. Now, the reggae track shared among celebrities such as DJ Khaled, Kim Kardashian, and daughter, Northwest, continued its ascension on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, peaking at number 34 after its 6th week. So it's looking good for YG Marley. He's like, you know, I would say now the breakout star for the Marley family. Everybody's looking at him.
Okay.
And he's fun to look at, too. He's got some nice locks. They're really, really long and solid and strong. It's a next generation of Rasta that I use. It's not like from Bob days when Bob just was like, you know, Congo Bongo and have it so. This generation.
What do you mean by Congo Bongo?
I'm just saying he didn't used to. I'm just saying. You know what is that? You know what is that? Mr. Hughes. Them time they never used to groom them locks. You understand? It was more about the inner, one inside of a man.
So today it's more well groomed.
I'm saying, his grandchildren. They're, sporting their locks. They're all pretty groomed, you know what I'm saying? Everything neat and, tucked away, no curl out of place, all these kind of things.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Like yours.
Like, man, sometimes we beat it. Sometimes we just remind ourselves, say, we're unruly too.
Yeah.
I remember our hair too. Where our hair grows with these coils and these curls. Our hair is resilient, and our hair is also just a demonstration of our strength. You see me? So, and all the while, I'm like, have it tamed.
But please.
Go on, yeah.
Look for your word. How much you pay for this?
This? What do you mean? To style it?
Yeah.
Did
style
you?
it.
We are trying to insinuate. So buy me here.
Did I buy it?
Mr. Hughes, you're out of vada. If me did have me whip on that show, yeah. If me did have me whip on timeline, would have beat you today.
What do you mean?
These are my locks. Excuse me?
Natural grown locks?
Yes, sir.
Let me see.
Okay, and
Let
they
me see.
would be longer, but I cut them in 2020. I was going through a breakup, you know. I was in Japan and I cut them
Please.
short here.
I buy you
And I
buy
grow
that.
them grow back. So suppose me never cut them.
Buy them.
Oh my gosh, the disrespect. You know what? Let's move on with the story. Why? Why you feel like you look on Nora and tell Nora to buy she buy for you?
What Nora's locks I buy them, she buy them. All I want to buy the locks.
Is it because you're bald? What? After years.
Grows out of my head. All
Yes.
Grows
Feel
out
the
of
girl's
my
strength.
head. All of it is out of my head. It's
Mr.
coming from
Hughes.
And I buy it.
No, sir.
So all the things I buy on the buy it.
No, sir.
Why would you even think that?
Buy.
Oh.
You know, see me notice with uno man and uno black men in a Jamaican society, a lot of uno ask me them fool question, yeah. Is your hair real? What you mean if me hair real, sir?
I didn't know.
What make?
Me think I just buy
Because
it.
there are a lot. I know there are a lot of women wearing faux locks.
Yes.
But you have to know the difference, Miss. I use them not look the same way.
Come, explain. Oh, yeah. How me know the
you
difference?
know the difference?
Yeah,
Jeez,
explain the difference, I know.
All right.
You're on camera.
There is-
Pull it round on the front and the people can see it. Yeah, let me see if
This camera, you're not going to pick up this properly. But the truth is, with the faux locks, there are some of them that look more real because some of them are using actual real locks to attach to their own hair. But some of them are more plasticky looking and more, or hair isn't naturally shiny. Like, so if you look at someone's locks and it's just like incredibly shiny and glossy like a wig, then you know that that's faux. And
So this
also
is not shiny.
you can look at the roots. No, it not have that kind of gloss, Mr. Hughes.
Okay.
Like, we're going to have a session.
It
'cause
grow from the root.
look,
right?
you see me root and me ear? If you want to touch the root, that's all, right? That's all, that's my scalp.
Yeah.
You see this, pull this. But don't jog out my locks, you know. But this is it. You understand?
Okay. A year one.
You know what? I feel like we can move on.
All right.
No, but I understand. I feel like in society right now, a lot of people don't know the difference, and that's
I don't.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
So all this time, you look at me, I think,
Me things I buy. Cause all of, like every 3-4 weeks, me see a change.
like I style it.
Yeah, you change.
Yeah, no,
So me
it
figure
change.
say,
Me change.
oh,
Me just go do me hair.
Yeah, but that's what I feel. So you gotta buy a new set. 'Cause
No.
you can't get these things to buy now, and you change it every month.
No.
Pay their time.
You know what?
No, so it go. Or if you have a new speaker, part of the taxation is listen.
Okay. Right. You know what? I feel like
Not true.
Eh?
The part of the taxation for the new speaker.
Well, man, I go just meet no man and ask him to do me hair. I can do my hair myself.
Yeah.
If he wants to offer to do my hair, it's a different situation. But I'm not taxing anyone to do my hair.
Okay.
It's not like I'm like, yo, in order for us to roll, you got to do my hair.
Or
We're not supposed to have to tell you things.
right, you must know what you have to do.
Like if you're interested in taking care of your lady,
Yes.
and you can see that she have ear on her head, it's not like she ball, then it
that's
must
it.
cost her to do her hair.
Yeah.
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 Right.
Well, I can finish this with them.
You know what? So I'm gonna read this last story. I'm gonna skip to the last story that I had. So we have spoken about Nige Boy in the show before. You know who Nige Boy is, right?
Yeah.
Right. So Russian released a new rhythm called Payment Plan. Right? The Payment Plan rhythm.
See that now.
So from Dirty Money to Payment Plan, right?
Yeah.
So Nige Boy did another track on the rhythm, and he's right now trending at #1 on YouTube.
Oh.
Yeah, and his song is called Judgment, right? So I'm gonna give you a little preview of that song, and then we get into the nitty gritty of the story.
Payment Plan.
Payment Plan. It's called Judgment.
All right.
Yes.
For the life of me, I can't understand why some man so foolish. Russian, them boy and it gal is class. Actually, never mind. Let them slip and slide. Leave them girl and attend it so I can swoop in. Yeah, like an eagle when Lisa, Gina, Susanna.
Yeah. You hear the smooth?
Mm-hmm.
It's nice, no?
Yes.
It's not bad. Okay, so
Catchy.
right. So on a timeline on X today, I came across a video, right? An AI made video. Now, we have spoken about artificial intelligence a number of times.
Dangerous.
Yes, and just how much we don't know what the future is going to look like with people being able to recreate an image of you and also your voice.
Yes.
So I don't know if you're into late night. Like I love late shows, right? And you know, during
Go past my bedtime.
well, true. During Donald Trump's, presidency and all of that, a lot of the late shows usually make funny clips about him and whatnot. And what they used to do with his voice is, if they want him to say something, they would just take clippings from different speeches to get him to say a particular sentence.
Yes.
You don't need to do that anymore because AI, artificial intelligence, can just take your voice, Mr. Hughes, and just put it and just make you say anything you want to say.
Yeah.
And Go
I
ahead.
see one this week with Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Talking about Mark Golding and Andrew Holness.
You see, at this so it reached now.
Yes.
So,
and would you believe that some people actually give credence to it?
Of course, because there's really no way of knowing unless you speak to the person and ask them, did you say this? But it puts us in a precarious position where evidence and laws are concerned. Because how are we going to go about ensuring that people aren't fabricating news and fabricating evidence to bring down other people?
Exactly. Yeah.
Anyway, so I came across this video, right? And what they did, they took a couple dance hall artists and used their voice and cadence to re-sing this song here, Judgment by Nige Boy. I want you to listen and tell me how good you think it is. All right? Here.
Fun life of me, I can't understand why some man so foolish. Rush on, them boy you need girl is cast.
Actually never mind, let them slip and slide. Lead them bird and attend these side and swooping. Yeah, like an eagle when
Lisa, Gina, Susan, Tisha, Serene, and 22 others ball. Before the 2 o'clock bell, so that fi come up to my room for slots with this.
what's the hell a rules that chat? And them on a yard man make them rules a lot. So them willing me, they learn the rule a lot. Make them judge jury executioner. One of the time me a touch them camera while I saw. Lisa ran to her, so that's when she wine rub by the bar. So she like them bros, some you follow rope.
Camera while I saw. Lisa ran to her, so that's when she wine rub by the bar. So she
all right, because
this is scary.
Scary, Mr. Hughes. Dangerous.
Yes.
Oh, look, you're a coffee zone?
Yes.
Your cartel? Your Movado? How?
Ooh.
And none of these people sat down to record this, okay?
Yeah.
All them do is take the song, take the flow, take the words, put
and
it
the
into
technology.
the AI, the technology, and voila.
Yeah.
It's as if they all just decided that them just do a little feature for the song.
The age of disinformation and technology.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have to be very careful. And now is the time
No,
when...
you can't be too careful.
True. But
you don't need to be there.
You don't need to be there. You don't need to do that. They just put you there.
Exactly.
I don't have no alibi. I did that.
Yeah.
Jermaine, and if you're an artist, you don't have to do no work. Also, that too, which is one of the things that, the discussions that was coming up in the entertainment space, in that as an artist, like, how do you separate music that is AI generated from actual music? Are both of them supposed to get the same precedence? They were thinking, okay, are we going to eventually start awarding Grammys and so on to AI generated music? It can. How?
Yeah.
When you can go in and manipulate everything and make it sound absolutely perfect. I don't know. Is that...
Boy. But before you leave me this afternoon,
yes.
We're almost done. You have that video of what took place on the toll road in the vicinity of Old Harbour this morning. Yeah, it is scary. Look at that man. Yeah, he is lucky this afternoon to be alive. Yes, his vehicle.
Was it an accident?
We don't know what it was, but clearly something went wrong, and the vehicle went up in flames, and he suffered burns. Yeah, and he was lucky to escape with his life. Yeah.
So, did he say anything about what transpired? Or was he unable to speak?
We don't have that audio.
Because you can imagine how traumatic this experience is. Look at him.
He's seriously burned.
Yes, man, we can see it, Mr. Hughes.
Yeah, and there's another video from another angle which shows him, trying to get away from the flames on fire. He was literally on fire.
So, video this now.
Boy.
See, that is the question, you know. We appreciate the footy, but who find time to see man a burn up and a run out a car and a take out your phone and a find your camera and a click record?
Yes.
See, that's the thing.
Here is it. Here it is. Yeah. If you look to the left, yeah, you see if you can bring it up. Yeah, see him getting there, moving now, and trying to roll to get rid of the flames engulfing his body. Yeah, that happened on the toll road, I gather, in the vicinity of Old Harbour this morning.
Old Harbour?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, have mercy. Then what could have caused this man vehicle for burn up so?
Boy, and look at the flames.
Could it?
Yeah.
And this is serious.
Wow.
Is this planet Earth?
It's Jamaica.
Wow.
Anyway, just be careful, yeah? We can't repeat often the mantra. Be careful on the roads. Be careful. Yeah?
Indeed.
And when you see people in things like this, you try to help them, not to take the video. Try to help them. Look at him. Yeah, trying to roll out of the flames.
And yeah, video him.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like we've lost our way. Like, I mean, I get it, you know, fine. We would have heard about this.
Social media world.
But this world of social media, man.
And everybody is an influencer.
Everybody's an influencer. Everybody's a star.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Honeybee.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and respect due. No man knows you're here.
No, so me lose a fire, me say.
Respect due. That's how we're going to leave it for this afternoon. Thank you so much to all of our callers, or WhatsAppers, or YouTubers. Thank you so much. And of course, our producer, Noragay Banton. Our technical operators, we started with David, handed over to Damien, and we are now ending up with Jermaine. Thank you all.
Wow.
You've just heard Cliff Hughes Online on Nationwide 90 FM. Join Cliff Monday to Thursdays between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. for Cliff Hughes Online.
Like a rock. My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock, like a rock. I was strong as I could be, like a rock. Nothing ever got to me, like a rock. I was something to see, like a rock.